7 on his back, the 6-time best and fairest winner. And Seen Red is what the banner reads tonight. It's an unmissable storyline. Zach Merritt out there for Essendon coming up against the Hawks. This is Friday Night Footy on ABC Sport. The whole gang's here for the new season. Corbin Middlemas alongside Kelli, Underwood, Cameron Ling, the legendary cat, and Mick Malthouse, the man who's coached more games than anyone else in the history of VFL, AFL footy. Tim Hodges in the front row of the grandstand. We'll get a check of conditions from him in just a moment. 3 debutants for the Bombers tonight. Dyson Sharp, Max Kondo Giannis and also Hus Al-Ashar are all making their debut tonight for the Bombers. So 3 new faces for Essendon. You can throw in Braden Fiorini as well, who we'll see for the first time in the sash. The full preview next.
Hi, it's Mackenzie Arnold. I'm Caitlin Ford. It's Alana Kennedy.
Hi, I'm Claire Hunt from the Matildas.
Get behind the Tillies with ABC Sport for the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026. Live and ad-free on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Sport.
AFL on ABC Radio.
On digital. And ABC Listen.
Look for the AFL button.
There's some extra spice to an old rivalry tonight. Essendon, Hawthorn, you say their names, you've said it all. The trade that never was. The shockwaves hit the MCG tonight as Zach Merritt comes up against the team he hoped to join last October. All eyes on him tonight at the MCG. Merritt out there for the Bombers against the Hawks. This is Friday Night Footy on ABC Sport. The preview with Mick Malthouse and Cameron Ling. The call with myself, Corbin Middlemas, and Kelli Underwood and Tim Hodges on the boundary. Mick, the night tonight from Zach Merritt's viewpoint. You spoke about it just a minute ago about how he's going to be received. I think we're a little mixed on what we think the crowd will do tonight. There'll be almost 80,000 in to see it. What about as a coaching exercise? So it's obviously been there's a few relationships that had to be rebuilt at the end of last year, but what would you be saying to a player like this who's on a big stage with all the eyes of the footy fraternity on him? How would you coach him tonight?
Yeah, look, it's a very interesting one, Corby, because a lot of the work would have been done clearly in November when it didn't happen. So the interest to me is that there are still players I fear would still be very, very disappointed, and how you get rid of that disappointment is going to be, I think it'll take long term. It's not going to be, he goes and plays a good game of footy. You try to walk away from this football club as a captain. There are young players that it won't mean a lot. Look, as a young player, I saw things happen at St Kilda and Richmond, and you think, okay. The more you mature as a player, the more things that happened, you thought, why? And how come that's happening? You know, classical case at Richmond was Richmond wanted John Pachura. A lot of people out there won't know who John Pachura is. Fantastic South Melbourne player. To get him, Richmond traded 3 players, heart and soul players. One won a Brownlow, and we got nothing out of John Pachura. And the player group itself started to shuffle around, and I was in that age group where I thought I was questioning it. There's going to be players here at Essendon who will maintain that, and that's going to take a long time. Some will be weeks, and others may be years, and some may never forgive him. They'll play with him but not forgive him. How he responds, Lingy's already said he's one of the most professional people going around. I'm in agreement with Bob Murphy. I don't think he inspires players, because he's a bit of a growler. He growls at them if he doesn't get it and this sort of stuff. And, we've seen players like that. And what happens is they've got respect for the way he plays, but they haven't got great respect for the person to help us be a good football side. So I don't think that's going to happen tonight. That's going to turn. The 2 Hawthorn lads, they're going to be equal under pressure. But I think that they won't lose the love from their teammates. And that's going to be the basic difference out of tonight's, with the 2 teams.
Dylan Moore and Connor McDonald, those 2 Hawthorn players for our audience that have just joined us. They've been in the headlines for their own misdemeanour during the week, which happened over in Arizona after a drunken night out. They ended up spending a night in a jail cell, but no punishment in terms of games missed, so they got fined by the club and they're free to play here tonight. Corbin Middlemas, Kelli, Underwood, Cameron Ling, Mick, Malthouse and Tim Hodges, your call team. No late change at the G.
No, there is no late change, so it means there's 4 debutants in the red and black tonight. Of course, Braden Fiorini, the former Gold Coast Suns, who was traded in the off-season, always struggled to be consistently picked, so you would think he would be injected straight into the midfield. But 3 great stories from the debutants, the teenagers. So I've double-checked the name. It's Max Kondogiannis. The 18-year-old who was a Kerry Grammar captain and via the Oakley Chargers Perk 36 last year. Dyson Sharp is a mad Essendon fan from Barossa. He grew up in the Barossa idolising Dyson Heppel. His first name is Dyson, but his mum said he wasn't allowed to grow dreadlocks like Dyson Heppel, but he is Dyson Sharp, and he grew up in the Barossa. And the feel-good story tonight is Hussey Al-Ashka. So Hussein Al-Ashka, he is still lives with his parents in Pascoe Vale, which is about 15 minutes drive from Tullamarine, an Australian Muslim worked through Bashar Hooli's foundation. His mum loves the game, taught him how to kick, and he's from Lebanese heritage. If he kicks a goal, look at his best mate Kako isn't there tonight, but very much looking forward to him. Actually, the ABC did a documentary on him and his great mate playing on a prayer. That was done by Paul Kennedy. If you get the chance on ABC iView, I watched it this week. It's beautiful.
The cross-promotion just working seamlessly. We love that, Cal, even though we don't get to see you on Offsiders every week. But yet you still know where to find us, still know your way around iView, which we love. Also on the ABC Listen app tonight, the Matildas up against North Korea. That doesn't start until 9 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, so updates to come throughout. Win into the semi-final, automatic qualification for the World Cup in Brazil. So a lot at stake for the Matildas tonight. You can find it through ABC Listen. And, of course, there's a pair of games in the NRL. Jared Waitley, in that interview with Zach Merritt during the week, did ask Zach Merritt, I thought, a very pertinent question on Fox Footy, where he said, can you still play with the same passion for the club despite seeking the trade last year? And I thought, it's a great question. You guys haven't quite been in the same position, but how do you want to get out of there? You have to come back. Would you think it'll feel differently between the ears of Zach from the last time he turned out in round 24 last year, or that make-up game up on the Gold Coast to complete the opening round 7 months later, and what he's feeling tonight?
I think he will play to the maximum because he's a very proud person. I'm going to clarify that by saying also, depends how the crowd react. If he feels hostility by the Essendon side, it may dampen his, not his enthusiasm, it may dampen his want to be the best player. Maybe he doesn't want the attraction. If nothing happens there, I don't feel that he will drop in his performance because he's got pride, he's got the ability, clearly. If he's got the teammates around him that'll accept him, nothing will change in regard to that sort of performance.
You would have had teammates, Ling, in similar boat. Can you play with the same passion?
I was trying to think all week. I was racking my brain thinking, it's never an exact situation where a player so publicly and captain of the club wanted out. I had teammates at various times who maybe held out a little bit for a contract, and occasionally, it'd start some conversations where you'd be like, come on, mate, can we do it? Gary Ablett was probably the most, and I can't even draw a parallel there, but with the Gold Coast Suns thing, it was the unknown, will he go, will he stay?
Because did he ever, I'm going to throw this in, the coach-player relationship there wasn't exactly perfect, was it?
Right at the end, it probably got a little strained, where Bomber was probably losing patience. He wanted an answer because
fair enough.
They were starting to try and make plans because I think
fair
we would have lost. I think if Gaz had stayed, we would have lost Darren Milburn and David Wojcinski. It would have fallen out of the salary cap. So Bomber wanted to know, can we sign those two? So it was more around the answers. I think once you take the field, you're a competitor. Your passion and your desire to win and to win the ball, that'll push everything else to the side for the 2 hours that you're out there. And I think Zach will be okay once the first bounce gets going.
Stage is set. Tim Hodges is on the boundary. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Good evening, Hodgie.
G'day, Corbin. G'day, crew. Nice to be with you again for another season. No joy for Blake Hardwick in his milestone game at the toss of the coin. Andrew McGrath, the new Bombers captain, won the toss. The Bombers will kick to the city end. That's the right of screen if you're at home watching on the telly, listening to us. Interesting, you chat on Zach Merritt. Normally he's the first to lead the Bombers out. Now that he's not captain, he was dead last to be running out with the Bombers. The crowd, a really interesting one. The MCC expecting to hit 82,000 people tonight, which would be the biggest home and away crowd ever between Essendon and Hawthorn. I've got to say, still a stack of people to come in if that's the case, so we're well off that. The weather is blustery like last night. The flags on top of the scoreboard are doing plenty, so it will make conditions difficult at ground level. Currently, Mick, my weather app says 18 degrees, a low of 14 is expected. It will be a chilly evening. No late changes, and just two of the best players, unfortunately, for these two clubs are on the bench with me. Will Day for the Hawks, coaching from the sidelines with his wrecked shoulder, and Nick Martin, as you heard earlier, coaching for the Bombers from the bench with his wrecked knee. So, no subs, so I thought I'd bring you that info.
A rose between thorns.
Zach Merritt stands alongside the umpire who's got the footy in the middle of the G. The glare of the footy world on Zach Merritt. A rivalry reignited. On ABC Sport, you're with Kelli Underwood.
And the opening ball up is underway. It's Meek and Blackiston. Blackiston with the first effective handball. Gives it off to Caldwell. Fires it inside 50. Defensive marks being taken by Hardwick. Playing his 200th game. He burst through the banner a little earlier with his young children. Or his young child, I should say. And he's moved it quickly to Amon. Inside 50 they go. And that's a lovely mark taken by Gunston. Taking the mark over Zach Reid, the second key defender.
I was just about to say, if Gunston has the same sort of year as last year, he'd be a freak, because I reckon he had a freak year last year.
It was amazing, wasn't it?
Well,
incredible year.
Could not break into this team this time last year. He missed the first two games for the Hawks. He was overlooked at selection. And he finished with 73 goals, the All-Australian and the best and fairest. He's got the Sherrin in his hands. He steps over the boundary line. He steps over 50. Oh, he is the sharpest shooter of all. Gunston back at the G. And, of course, it had to be a goal. Hawthorn open proceedings. Friday night footy on ABC Sport.
I saw a bloke last night missing the same spot twice there.
It's amazing. You almost were writing that in the book before he kicked it. He is the superb set shot goal kicker. And you're right about his season last year. Incredible. If he gets that sort of delivery throughout the night, he's going to kick a bag tonight. That was really simple off half-back. An intercept mark, first of all. And then it was just Newcomb, short kick. Then into Amon, short kick. And then nice and long, penetrating, one-on-one, advantage side. Thank you very much.
Yeah, not a lot of work done on him in the contest, though, Ling. You'd be disappointed. Outside of the ball getting there, the one-on-one was really poor.
And it was Zach Reid, who showed really good signs last year, but got to be better than that.
Oh, absolutely.
First goal of the night goes the way of Jack Gunston. Ruck Sherritt back in the middle. Durham had it, lost it for the Bombers. Spills the way of Ward. Hurried kick forward for the Hawks. Camped underneath it. Mackay spills the mark. Falls down to Joel. He's tackled, dispossessed. Sliding in his Caldwell. It was almost dangerous below the knees. Ump says keep rolling. Attracts a crowd, and we'll have a ball up 30 metres out from the Hawks goal.
Yeah, free kick every day of the week. You cannot dive in at the ball like that to absolutely do someone's knee.
No late change. 3 on debut for the Bombers. Meek palms it down. Caldwell tackled immediately. Ball up. Still centre half forward for the Hawks, kicking towards the punt road end in this opening term, and they've already got one through Jack Gunston.
Mackay's gone to Chol. Blackiston wins it out of the ruck, gives it to Caldwell. Watson's there. Chol fakes one way, handballs back to Newcomb, the co-captain, standing start, sends it to the punt road end, and he's just offline and through for a minor score. So the opening couple of minutes here, we've gone nearly 3, and it's all Hawthorn doing the attacking. 1-1-7, the Bombers yet to score.
Of course, Jack Gunston, first goal of the night. His late father, Ray, a chief executive at Essendon for a short time, and here's an easy kick for Zach Merritt.
What would you describe that as?
Mixed. A reaction from the Essendon and Hawthorn crowd as Merritt goes long down the wing, and that's his first touch. Ball spills to right. I think the crowd trying to get their head around it too as they turn to people next to them thinking, what are we meant to be doing here?
Yeah. What are you doing? If you do it, I'll do it.
That was interesting,
I was
wasn't it?
unsure.
I don't know what it was.
Right, goes short to Fiorini. A former Sun, now Bomber. Kicks down to half forward. Barris floats across. No marks. Bills to Parrish. Hand pass away towards Alashar. Hand pass over his shoulder. Scooped up there by Duursma. Keeps it alive to Langford. Now to Parrish. That's a kick. Back in the corridor. And hits up Sam Durham, who takes the mark true centre half forward.
Or let me just say, looking from here, that ball... The kick, the shape of the kick was perfect. There was not one Hawthorn player within 20 metres of three Essendon players who were about 55 to 45 out. That was very poor defence by the Hawks.
Jack Ginnivan stands the mark. He's gone back to the slim shady shaved bonds with the peroxide blonde hair. It's almost white. As Durham with the footy in his hand knocks it through for Essendon's first of the new season. And Sammy Durham, heart and soul type guy, 4-year extension in the lead up to the season to take him through to 2032. He is in for the long haul. Essendon 1 straight, Hawthorn 1-1, 4.5 minutes in. Hawks by a point, Friday night footy, ABC Sport.
Yeah, you're right, Mick. It's a good observation. So the Parrish kick was a beauty to Durham. When you see someone open like that, corridor, it was a probably 40-metre kick and got there quickly, beautiful use. However, Durham was in an absolute paddock, and there were other Essendon players free as well. I think what it was, there was a couple of Hawthorn players near the contest, so they've got to stay there just in case it's a handball instead of a kick. But then the next outer ring was Ginnivan and a couple of others, and they were doing nothing.
Yeah, but they're all looking to go forward, Ling.
Yeah, true.
Ball up, Meek wins it clearly, got it down to McKenzie. Now there's a scramble on the edge of the goal square. Newcomb's on the bottom of the pack, and the umpire says it'll be a secondary baller. Players pretty much ignoring Zach Merritt so far. Meek straight down to Newcomb. He's set upon it, spills out to Watson, to Merritt. A high up and under from a standing start. Flying in from the side was Impey. He couldn't take it. Weddle's got it. Nate Caddy's got him. Wraps him up in a massive tackle at half forward here for the Bombers. And another baller.
Really good tackle.
Umpire tosses it up, tacking edge of the centre square for Essendon. Blackiston wins it down, but McKenzie for the Hawks hands it to Watson. Kicks upfield, picked up by Moore. Hands it to his mate McDonald. The pair combine. McDonald kicked goal and it knocks it through. Moore to McDonald. The story of the week. And they're out to redeem themselves on a Friday night. Hawthorn 2-1-13. Essendon 1 straight 6. 8 minutes into the opening term. In the Arizona adventures of the past, Hawthorn by 7 points. Friday night footy on ABC Sport.
Superb hands out of congestion there. It was McKenzie who just gave the first little give, and that opened up everything for the Hawks. And again, the first goal ended up in a set shot with Jack Gunson, but it was quick ball movement. From that first quick handball, it was fast, high-quality ball movement and nice finish by Connor McDonald on the run. And I think we were talking a bit about it pre-game about how the different players would handle what they're going through, Merritt versus the Hawthorn boys. A lot of love there for Connor McDonald from his teammates after he kicked the goal.
Absolutely.
He was higher than a scissor lift, I think, Lingy. Here's Parrish. Welcome side, only played 3 games last year. Bursting out of the centre, kick inside 50, couldn't find a target. Perkins gets it to Durham. It's a little bit too hot there for Caldwell. Fiorini comes in and tackles Weddle. It'll be a ball up 25 out directly in front from the Hawks goal. Hawthorn kicking to the city end in this opening term. And the Hawks by 7 points, 2 goals to 1. Meek got it straight down and set upon down there was Newcomb.
There's the problem, Kel, that around the ground, Hawthorn's rucks are too big and too strong.
Dominating.
Going against right because it's Essendon inside 50. Now Sicily wearing the long sleeves tonight. Didn't do that last week. Maybe they're the lucky long sleeves. Sends it south side of the MCG. Caught in a huge tackle down there was Pryor. And Pryor for Essendon's kick. Somehow it works its way inside 50. It bounced off the chest of right. It was an absolute sitter and he's dropped it. Now Barris is caught. He goes to ground. Watson's fighting hard. Caddy tries to break a tackle. Handballs backwards to Durham. Durham puts it over the head. Waiting for it to bounce is Langford. In the left forward pocket. Sends it into the goal square. It's a fumble from Sicily. Wright gets it up to Caldwell on the outside of the boot. He misses. From 5 metres out, it was a hot footy. Wright's fumbled a couple and Caldwell under pressure on the outside of the boot. It was almost a banana, but it didn't bend enough.
Sicily brings it into Impey, kicks down the line to Lewis. It's also a similar theme, isn't it, from we've had 6 completed games. They all have started really hot. Helter-skelter out of the gate. Short kick across the ground to Impey. Long ball down to half-forward. Free kick for a hold. And as you said, Ling, he came back to Gunston against Reid. So Zach Reid's got an issue there with Gunston early. Short kick out wide to Weddle, who's crept forward. And Weddle decides just to play on. 48 metres out, knocks it through. As easy as you like. And Josh Weddle, with no one guarding the mark, takes what's on offer and pops it through for Hawthorn's third. The Hawks 3-1, Essendon 1-1. 12-point lead for the Hawks, 9 minutes in, Friday night footy on ABC Sport.
I don't think you can wait much longer. The Zach Reid-Gunston matchup is not a good one.
He's all over it.
Yeah.
You coached your kids last year. When someone takes a mark, do you instruct them to stand on the mark?
Yeah, generally, you come at them and stand the mark, and if they play on, you come at them and try and put pressure on them.
Well, no one stood his mark and no one come at him. He just walked inside 50. You've got to be defensively minded. Corby, you said how hot it is.
Yeah.
The best form of defence here is to get the football, number one. 2 is don't let the opponents have easy, cheap football, kicks or marks or anything.
Easy ball.
Hawks by 12 points. Blackiston does well in the air at ground level. Merritt scoops it up, gives it off. It was chopped off, though, rather by the Hawks. Ward sends it inside 50, and Ben McKay, the relieving interceptor, flares it wide to Redmond. He's got it at half-back, sends it up towards the wing. This is Pryor. He's got plenty of space, has a bounce, runs to almost half-forward, sends it into the left-forward pocket, and waiting at the back here is Dersma, and he goes. The quick reply from the Bombers over the head of the pack. And Dersma with the long locks and the black headband snaps it round the body from that left-forward pocket. And the margin cut back to 6 points. Essendon producing its second goal, 2-1-13, Hawthorn 3-1-19 after 11 minutes in this first term.
So Corbin made the observation that all the games have started quickly, frenetically, and the reason is both teams tonight, they're trying to attack. So each team is basically spinning a midfield forward. So they're running hard forward and trying to get an outnumber in their forward line. So what it's leading to is nice, easy goals like that. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But if there's a turnover, it's going to go back the other way at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
I just can't believe how easy Essendon have found their way in their forward line with their 2 goals.
Hawks by 6 points. First possession for Nash. Gives a handball away to Watson, who's getting some centre bounce minutes. Short kick finds Newcomb, the new skipper. Inside 50, Lewis the target. Well spoiled, broken up by Mackay. Now he's got an issue. Tackled immediately, and the umpire says, I'll have it. There's Moore and Lewis with the follow-up. Talked about the mixed response for Zach Merritt. That's something Ben Mackay knows all too well from his first year as a Bomber after coming across as a free agent. There's young Sharp on debut. First touch of the footy at the restart, but he's locked up straight away without a disposal.
Ball up right on the 50 here for Hawthorn, and it's Roberts that gets the kick away. Going back with the flight with Sicily, takes an uncontested mark in the end. He's got it right in front of the interchange gates, and he looks to centre it. Kicks it backwards slightly to Scrimshaw, who pokes it forward using the corridor. Matt Nash marks uncontested, goes back to Scrimshaw. Socks down, fluorescent yellow boots. He handballs to Gunston, gives it back to Sicily. They're playing around with it. Now the all-important kick into the pocket goes over the head of Weddle. It'll be a boundary throw in 10 metres around from the Hawks' goal. And it's the Hawks by 6 points. Tim Hodges on the boundary.
Jarman Impey came off for the Hawks, Kel, with a dislocated finger. In the process of putting it back in, I think he's a bit queasy, lost most of his dinner, but the finger is back in. He's good to come back on the field.
Blackiston just wrestles Reeves to the ground, and the ump says you can't do that as the ball hits the turf. And Ned Reeves is going to get a free kick here inside 50. We'll have a look from about 30 out left half forward.
No, you can't do that. Last I checked in the rule book, Mick, and it was just the size.
It's going to get him. It's going to get him all day because they're bigger and they're stronger. There's no solution. This is the ruckman they've got. He probably should stand off the ball and have a run at it. Don't lock into them.
Played one game last year, Ned Reeves. He trots in here, brought in tonight, immediate impact, puts it through. And Hawthorn restore a 12-point buffer. And Ned Reeves pretty happy about that, playing his first game with his mate Lloyd Meek since the end of 2023. 13 minutes in, Hawthorn 4-1, Essendon 2-1. This is Friday Night Footy on ABC Sport. There are no late changes, 3 on debut for the Bombers. They're all out there.
Lingy, I know you've played a lot of midfield, but there's going to be a time when they might get away with this sort of skinnier ruckman in the centre bounce, but around the ground, he's going to have to change his tactics and work around the ball and make their ruckman, being Hawthorn's ruckman, either come at him or try to block him and see if he can pick up the free kick. Because wrestling, he's not going to compete.
No, they'll just hold off and protect the drop zone and just lay
it off wherever they want to.
Blakiston giving away plenty of centimetres against Reeves. It hits Reeves on the head in the end. Ward's able to scoop it up off the deck. Handballs around to the player who's in plenty of space. That's Moore. Moore flares it wide and taking the uncontested mark up over his eyes was Lewis. Lewis gives it off to Sicily, who stabs the pass beautifully to guess who, Gunston. And Zach Reid is in a world of pain at the moment. Gunston started out of the goal square, 1 out with Reid. He's already produced a major, and this time he's taken the mark in a one-on-one contest in that right forward pocket at the punt road end.
Well, 2 things happen: a good kick and a smart player on the end of it.
But so, you got to make that move.
Oh, it's got to be done now.
And it's probably Ben Mackay.
So Gunston on the approach. He was a sharpshooter from the left, but he's missing to the right. And just hanging it out, pushing it across. No, it was a little skinny in the end. So 4-2-26, Hawthorn by 13 points, 2-1-13. Friday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Quickly to Redmond and now to Caldwell, who marks half-back. As Kel said, 13-point advantage for the Hawks. Caldwell down the wing, good mark, an intercept one at that from Ward. Picks it off on halfway for the Hawks, goes back and across to McKenzie. Missed opening round, comes back in for Hawthorn tonight. Across the ground he heads. Finds a teammate on that outer wing. That's Butler. Hand pass goes forward to Moore. Kicks out wide looking for Ginnivan. Just inside the boundary line. Takes the mark. Right in front of where about bay 13 would be for the cricket. So he's up against the fence. Right half forward. He's got the new do too. Still the moustache with the different colour hair. He's got
a bit of Billy Idol about it, doesn't it?
Nice.
That shock of blonde white hair.
So right foot against the boundary line. If anyone can kick him from out here, Jack Ginnivan misses near side of behind. It's got the glove on again, coming back from a broken finger.
Bombers don't waste any time bringing it back into play. It was Johnson who hits up Roberts. So Archie Roberts was second in their B&F last year, had a brilliant season. He goes out wider still around the southern wing. Ginnivan's able to pick it off. Battles involved. So too Nash. Now it comes to Amon, who's usually deadly on that left foot. He was looking for Chol, but Mackay beats him to it. Handballs back to Reid. Might have got himself in a bit of a pickle here. Redmond gets involved all by hand. They give it off. This is the debutant in Max Kondogiannis, who kicks it down towards the Bombers bench, and it's over the boundary line. It'll be a free kick to the Bombers against Impey.
I think they might have paid the mark just there.
Yeah, Dyson Sharp worked hard there to get front position.
It's Sharp, in fact. So the debutant, Dyson Sharp. Long kick in the Sicily direction, gets a big Mick to it right on the arc of 50. And it'll be a ball up. No one can pluck it from the turf.
So there are 3 new names. Kondogiannis, Al Ashkar, and also Sharp, the 3 on debut for Essendon. Blakiston spun around 360, got a hand pass to Sharp, who's set upon straight away.
You should be in the coaching box. Lingy, Redmond's gone back to Gunston.
Redmond, yeah, okay.
Ball up, 60 out from the Essendon goal. Stripped of it was McKenzie, picked up by Roberts, hands it to Parrish, his handball knocked down. Moore forces the ball into open space, picked up by Roberts, or missed his hand trying to get a handball away and almost tossed it out inadvertently. The ball trickles out of play, throw in between wing and half forward for the Dons.
So Zach Reid's inability to take that matchup has meant that Essendon are now robbed of Redmond's creative attacking play.
Yeah.
And Mackay's had to stay back because of Chol. And now Reid's gone to Mitch Lewis.
Blakiston in shallow boundary throw in, palms it down to Caldwell. The ball spits away from him. Nash shoots a handball forward, but a turnover. Here's Parrish. This is just a dump kick down to half forward for the Bombers. At the drop and a good intercept mark. Bursting through Scrimshaw. Picks it off for Hawthorn.
Oh, it's dangerous, though, because it's almost picked off by Langford. Waiting at the back here is Pryor. Gives it to Perkins. Perkins handballs to Sharp. Sharp the banana from 30 metres out directly in front. Dyson Sharp. He idolised Dyson Heppel. And Bombers fan says a new Dyson in town. Childhood dreams do come true. Family from the Barossa in the crowd on the giant screen going bananas. And that is a team lifter indeed in this opening term. They close the margin back to 8 points. And Dyson Sharp with the biggest smile on his face, the debutant, the 18-year-old from Barossa, picked 13 in last year's draft. Essendon's got its third, 3-1-19. Hawthorn, 4-3-27.
Yeah, well, it's make mistakes. The way Essendon have kicked their goals, it's been really Hawthorn's inability to defend the ball properly, in my book, from the source and then where the goal's been had. So well done to the Bombers.
Margin closes back to 8 points. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Mackenzie first disposal at the restart. Hand pass away to Amon. He gives it to Connor McDonald to Butler. Another handball back to Amon. 70 metres out. Ugly kick inside 50. Redmond has to scoop it up for the Dons. Got it out to the skipper. There's Andy McGrath. Kicks out into space. Hardwick pursuing it and game 200. And in the end, he just has to shove Perkins out of bounds with the footy. Tim Hodges is on the boundary. Hodgie.
Dyson Sharp's hero was Dyson Heppel, as Kel said. I walked in with Dyson Heppel tonight, an Essendon legend. He's just came from his day job over at Olympic Park in his Collingwood polo, so he hadn't taken it off yet, so I'm not sure how many Essendon fans would love that.
From the boundary throw-in, spills the way of Newcomb. Ugly kick back inside the centre corridor. Not able to pick it up, Nash. Watson is clean. Got a hand pass away to Nash. Can dish another handball away to Connor McDonald, who snaps it through for his second. He gives the Hawks a lift. 14 points, Hawthorn's lead. 21 gone opening term. 5-3-33. Essendon 3-1-19. And again, it's back to double digits. Cameron Ling, Mick Malthouse on ABC Sport.
Mick, we've already seen 8 goals kicked in this first term. I don't know about you. It doesn't feel round one-ish. It still feels very, very open and pre-season-y at the moment.
And interesting enough, there hasn't been one free kick paid for the old deliberate, which is so the ball has been kept inside and kept alive. And when you've got a dominant ruckman around stoppages, the ball's going to be out in the open. So we're seeing a very open game, and the goals that have been kicked have been
a lot of easy goals.
Yes, both ends.
8 goals kicked in the first 21 minutes of play. Back underway in the centre. And it's Durham sending it to the northern wing. That's a wonderful mark by Dersma, one-on-one in a battle with D'Ambrosio. Swings it past to Kondo Giannis, who goes inside 50. And play on, is it? No. It's going to come back. It's an Essendon free kick. The mark was paid, was it?
No, it was a free kick. He grabbed his arm.
It just didn't pay advantage.
No, because Alashka had it. And
I think umpire did very well then. Very, very well. Essendon broke with the ball after the free kick. And I reckon the umpire waited to see whether he was in a position of being in an advantage. So it turned out at the end it wasn't.
Free kick here for Kyle Langford. So
easy free kick.
Yeah, interfered with from behind by Scrimshaw. So he's got a tough angle. City end in that right forward pocket. He's going to step over the 50. So distance won't be a problem. Question of accuracy, 10 metres in, sends it on its way, and that is pushed across the face through for a- score. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. It's Hawthorn by 13 points. 7 minutes to play in this opening term.
Seen a lot of one-on-one for the kickoffs. So last week, I think the Bulldogs kicked 5 goals against Brisbane from kickoffs. I'm seeing a lot more advancement of the ball from kick-ins these days. So clubs are now have to go really one-on-one.
Battle marks in the back pocket. The All-Australian goes long to the wing, spills down to McGrath, hand pass to Merritt. He shoots it back, but there's a free kick.
A high contact.
Coming back to McGrath, gives it to Merritt. There's a few more cheers as he runs, carries his fourth disposal, kicks into the forward pocket. Caddy reaching from the back, not to be, man in front.
That's a Hawthorn mark.
Is it Battle's mark? No, the ump says both had a bit of it, and he's called for it. A neutral ball scenario. Tosses it up, forward pocket here for the Dons. Hawthorn winner, Newcomb. Hand pass away towards Impey. His kick smothered. Alashka in there trying to wrestle it free for the Bombers. Falls to May, who's in behind him, and the ump says, I'll have it. And a ball up right forward pocket for the Dons at the city end. Hawthorn by 13.
Creeping closer to goal here, the Bombers. Durham and Sicily, the umpire says a free kick to Hawthorn.
That's 50 metres. He's a silly player. Oh,
Gave it
lucky
back
to get
to
away with
Newcombe.
that. Lucky to get away with it. Handed it back to the wrong player.
So Newcombe in the back pocket.
Oh, the wide open corridor. No, he hesitated. The Hawks were gone if he hit that one.
Goes for a trot, has a couple of bounces through the defensive goal square and keeps it low. It went like a bullet and it was marked. Uncontested by Sam Butler. Moves it back inboard, gives it off to Eamon. Gives it to Scrimshaw. Oh, he's running to Zach Merritt. He's caught, he's gone. Free kick to Merritt. They're going to play on. Durham gets it. Goes inside 50 and Langford was held out of it. It's a mark to Barras. It's up Amon. Across half-back, the quick handballs go. McDonald's involved, off to the run of Impey. Dashes it and keeps it short to Chol. Marks out in front of Mackay. Turns around on the left, pokes it out in front of Gunston, and it dribbles over the line. And probably a good result in the end. Instead of dribbling over for a minor score, it'll be a boundary throw-in by about 20 centimetres.
That ball through the middle was that rule of... Because everyone's adjusted to it now. You run past, they can't touch it, and the ball just keeps moving. You almost got to come at the play now as opposed to run back.
Hawks by 13, ABC Sport from the boundary throw-in. Merritt, quick hands to McGrath, now to Caldwell. The Bombers link up by hand. Caldwell exits defensive 50. He's opposite number Sicily. Almost an intercept mark. Perkins forces it out, and now Impey has it knocked out of his hands by his opposite number in Langford in the boundary throw-in.
It's amazing. We haven't had one yet, have we?
No.
The last touch.
None, not at all.
You just assume there's going to be 10 or 15 a quarter.
Yeah,
it's not the case.
Players who just keep you in or know how to dribble it, know how to get the touch.
Hawks by 13, time on opening term. Squeezed away by Newcombe into space. It'll sit for Ginnivan. Walls close in. He's caught by Durham and Kondo Giannis. And the umpire says, I'll have it between wing and half forward. So a ball up here. Hawthorn's attacking end. Hawks by 13.
Right into the ruck and he wins it. Peter Wright gets it down to Caldwell. Just dribbles the kick towards the interchange gates and meeting it first but unable to control it anymore. It was Archer May, number 26 for the Bombers. Sent back in.
Parrish free kick could be 50.
Oh, because it played on did D'Ambrosio.
Oh, they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
So Parrish has got it right in front of the interchange gates. Only played 3 games last year.
Been all right.
Short he goes. Here's Merritt. Gives it back to Parrish. Some run and dash and the drive. Penetrating kick right to the top of the goal square. Right flew and now at ground level it's Caddy fires it out to Durham. Durham, the quick snap with plenty of pressure around and he snaps the goal. Durham's got his second. And they're back to within 7 points. Hawthorn lead 5-3-33. Essendon 4-2-26. 4 minutes to play in this opening quarter.
Good quick hands out of the contest again, Mick. It's been one of the strengths of the Bombers throughout this first quarter. Darcy Parish has done it really well around the clearances, but a few of the other players just been able to get hands on the ball, quick little give. And Hawthorn, I think, trying to be better at the contested ball after such a bad performance last week, coming in but getting caught in no man's land, and then the outer ring of the Bombers receiving those handballs and able to do a little bit of damage. And if they can head in and only be about a goal down, that would be a good result.
Well, contested possession, we're reading it right, 24-29, so that's the Bombers' favour. So if they're concentrating on it, they haven't really mastered it yet.
Mick Malthouse, Cameron Ling back for a new season. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Merritt gets it out again to Caldwell. Into a bit of space. Kicks under pressure though down to half forward. Impey keeps it in front of him. Picks it off for the Hawks. To Amon to Ward. Back to Amon. Now up over halfway. Hawthorn floats a hand pass to Dylan Moore. Looks inboard. Ginnivan hugs it to his chest and takes the mark. Just in front of Zach Johnson.
The only trouble is Essendon can't slow down that uncontested ball use of the Hawks.
The Hawks have done it so well to here, and now they can have a shot. What do they... So they've Yeah, so 8 shots on goal.
Guinea knows all about this opposition too. Of course, kicked 5 and one of his breakout performances on Anzac Day won the medal against the Dons. Then when his stripes were black and white. Out towards the right he goes. He kicks from about 55 metres out, right to the goal line off a series of hands. And through for a rush behind. Hawthorn by 8 points. 28 and a half minutes gone in the opening term. This is Friday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Well defended then by the Bombers. Ginnivan was desperate to do a late little check down, find someone, but they had it well set up.
So Zach Reid on the kick-in duties. He goes short and squares it to the captain in McGrath. Got it in the back pocket. He goes for a bit of a run and then goes long and strong. It's slapped down by right. Here's a chance for Johnson. Quick hands. Parrish has got it. Just at the edge of the back of the square. They got loose players through the centre. That was well done by Condo Giannis. Gets it wider still to Merritt. And then all by himself right on 50. He can run in and have a shot here. It's Fiorini. Misses. Oh, he had plenty of time, didn't he, Mick?
Got to kick those.
I had a cup of tea in between him getting and kicking.
He steadied on that left. He was on the right side for a left footer.
He was looking for an alternative, admittedly, and the Essendon player ran away instead of at him.
But, Mick, when you're running 30 metres out, no one near you, just kick the goal.
Yeah, I know you should.
Sicily marks the kick in, goes long down the line, and here's Chol who hits up and marks.
Hawks by 7 points.
Chol looks beyond the wing, trying to take the mark. Weddle, not to be, knocked away from him by Blackiston and out of bounds. Sean Lockie Blackiston, by the way, this is a guy who was playing community footy a couple of years ago. Like, it's an amazing story that he's even out here. It was mid-season draftee last year after rucking for East Fremantle in the WAFL. Before that, he was playing just in the Ammos. And now, after spending all last year as a key post in defence, out of position, he gets a chance to ruck tonight against 2 big guys for the Hawks. From the throw-in, Essendon win it from the stoppage. Durham gives it to Fiorini. Hand pass goes backwards to Merritt. Kicks a high bomb inside 50 and Barris.
It's just lousy kick.
But Fiorini was facing goal on the run, not much pressure, just kicking himself.
Yeah. He
doesn't want to kick
who kicked that?
A Merritt in the end.
See, that's the give me. No, he should be calling him in to run.
Short, sharp kicks. We've had about 5 or 6 still in the defensive 50 before Hardwick gets it. And now he exits the defensive 50, gives it to Ward, kept running, accepted the handball, going down the southern wing. Off to McKenzie. He stops, has a look. Oh, and opens the door for Peter Wright to lay his hand on that one. And now it's a loose ball. Blackiston with the last touch over the boundary line. The umpire says it'll be a boundary throw-in.
I know you've got to rob Peter to pay Paul, so the Bombers want a little bit more protection back. But surely in a young forward line where you're trying to develop caddy, you can't let Barris just all alone, can you? You got to man him up.
Yeah, in that case you do. Absolutely.
Hawks by 7 points. Boundary throw-in in front of the great southern stand. Blackiston. Meek gets his hand to it. There's plenty of players around. Blackiston, good follow-up. Back to Merritt. Merritt from a standing start. Bombs it right on the arc. It's Sicily v. Wright. Wright got a hand to it at ground level. No, it'll be a free kick.
Chop.
Yep. He got a hand to it, but his long arm was reaching over the top of Sicily. So Sicily with the free. Kicks backwards to Battle. And this is all uncontested to Moore. Still in the D50, Hardwick. Now Ginnivan's got it inside the centre square. Working the angles with these kicks. All uncontested. Now Impey. Into the corridor. They've got loose players everywhere here. Ward.
They can't stop this type of ball use at the moment, the Bombers. The Hawks are just... It's almost soccer at the moment.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Around.
Yeah.
All uncontested. They get it to the halfway mark. Ball's in the hands of Moore. Moore pops it over the top, looking for Newcombe to run onto it, though. Well played it was by Perkins. He gives it back to Merritt. Merritt goes down the line, and that'll be a lasso.
There's the first one.
There it is.
Yeah.
I've seen fans standing up in the crowd doing the lasso. I can't wait to see Mick do that, Corbin.
It's 21 seconds into the...
Ginnivan short to Moore, kicks inside the forward 50, and in the end it's shepherded out. So by Fiorini, boundary throw in forward pocket for the Hawks. Mention about Barris being able to do his own thing. At the very least, your spare, being Zach Reid, has to have the same impact as Tom Barris, and that's not happening.
Look, it's okay to have this loose, but you don't let the best loose. Well, Sicily's probably the best loose. Barras was the second. You've got to peel off to make sure that you let the most conservative,
least dangerous.
Okay, least dangerous. That's right. Don't let them do what they want. Mix and match it.
And that'll do us. The restart in the forward pocket for Hawthorn. So a competitive opening with Zach Merritt attracting plenty of attention in the lead-in. He is the chief possession winner on the ground at quarter time. He's had 11 in the opening term. The response was mixed when he got his first touch in a slow play. In the back pocket, he's had 7 kicks, 4 hand passes. 8 of his 11 touches have been uncontested. 3 inside 50s, 3 score involvements for Merritt. The team score, Essendon 4-3-27, Hawthorn 5-4-34. So the Hawks by 7 points. Quarter time in what has become an annual fixture between the Hawks and the Bombers, 4th straight year that they meet each other in round 1 of the season. The goal kickers, first of all for Hawthorn, 2 for Connor McDonald. He too spent a week in the headlines. 1 for Ned Reeves, 1 for Jack Gunston and 1 for Josh Weddle. Meanwhile for Essendon, 2 for Sam Durham and then singles for Sharp on debut and for Xavier Dersma. Off the SMS, we had a lovely message earlier, by the way, from Jacinta. So shout out to Jacinta, who was a big fan of the way that Nick Martin presented himself in the pre-game. Absolutely here. We reinforced that sentiment. It was lovely to hear from him. A very intelligent young man, unfortunately out for the year with a knee reconstruction for the Bombers. Marcus at Koroy says, Mick, did you get booed by Saints fans after moving to the Tigers?
No, I don't think I did.
Not that you remember?
Well, put it this way, I turned up Monday morning to train at the Saints and they said, no, son, we've just cleared to Richmond. So I don't think I had anything to do with it. The supporters worked it out pretty quick.
Chris off the SMS, just wondering what position is the best for the young Bombers gunner. Archie Roberts, in defence or on the ball? We've seen him play a little bit on ball throughout the community series and the pre-season so far.
I quite like him on ball eventually, but little bits of time at halfback still. Big creative and on the wing.
And Michael says, with 2 ruckmen tonight, would Lloyd Meek go forward at times and rotate forwards like Ginnivan and Watson through the midfield? Midfield is an issue.
Yeah, no, they won't do the ruckman. Not while they've got Chol and also Lewis down there. They've got enough height already.
And you can't take Gunston away from that third role.
And it solves one of your rotation issues, which we spoke about pre-game, if the rucks are changing with each other. All right, it's quarter time. More from Cameron Ling and Mick Malthouse next. Corbin Middlemas, Kelli Underwood calling the footy and Tim Hodges on the boundary. At quarter time, the Hawks by 7 points. Friday night footy on ABC Sport.
New inspiration from ABC Books. The author of The Vagus Nerve Reset brings you a new toolkit for calming your body and mind. Anna Ferguson's 21 Days to a Less Anxious You. Find it in bookshops and online.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
He steps over the boundary line. He steps over 50. Oh, he is the sharpest shooter of all. Gunston back at the G. And of course it had to be a goal.
Kicks upfield, picked up by Moore, hands it to his mate McDonald. The pair combine. McDonald kicked goalward and knocks it through. Moore to McDonald, the story of the week. And they're out to redeem themselves on a Friday night. Short kick out wide to Weddle, who's crept forward. And Weddle decides just to play on. 48 metres out, knocks it through. As easy as you like. And Josh Weddle, with no one guarding the mark, takes what's on offer and pops it through for Hawthorn's third.
This is Pryor. He's got plenty of space. Has a bounce. Runs to almost half forward. Sends it into the left forward pocket. And waiting at the back here is Dersma. And he goes. The quick reply from the Bombers. Waiting at the back here is Pryor. Gives it to Perkins. Perkins handballs to Sharp. Sharp the banana from 30 metres out directly in front. Dyson Sharp. Bombers fans, there's a new Dyson in town.
Not able to pick it up, Nash. Watson is clean. Got a hand pass away to Nash. Can dish another handball away to Connor McDonald, who snaps it through for his second. He gives the Hawks a lift.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Sounds there from the opening term. The Hawks by 7 points. Quarter time, Friday night footy on ABC Sport. The legendary cat Cameron Ling alongside the man who's coached more games than anyone else in VFL AFL footy, Mick Malthouse. Hawks by 7.
Well, and Hawthorn, Mick, they deserved their lead because they were nice and efficient with the ball. Their uncontested play was pretty sharp and did the job. It's funny, I made the observation throughout the first quarter. It still felt like a bit of a pre-season game where everybody was getting pretty easy ball at times and turnovers then led to scores from both teams, which happens in a game, of course. But it didn't have that real physicality or hard, close-checking defence.
No.
It was a very open first quarter, and we end up with 9 goals kicked. Now, it's kind of what the AFL wants, but I felt it was a flat first quarter from what I was expecting.
Yeah. If it's what the AFL want, they're going to get it in spades, and I don't know whether that's what the public really want. And off air, we were talking about the new, just for the people out there, that the rule where someone takes the mark and you've got to stand. So straight away you're a lamppost, you can't move.
The stricter interpretation of the stand rule.
It is.
Yeah.
So a player runs past and gets the hand pass. That's going to be the most obvious thing that I've seen in the last week's games and today. The way to counter it, and the only way you counter it, unless you're running with that player, which is if they've got a spare behind the ball, you can't counter it that way. You've virtually got to leave your man in front of them and come up and meet the receiver, and in turn the play behind you automatically. So you've got to practice at training. He moves, you move, and you've got to move up, and then you've got to put pressure onto the player who's just received the football and see whether you can disrupt that type of play. That's the only way you're going to get a contest in the middle of the ground, or let's say 40 out to 40 back.
And Essendon aren't doing that. So what that's led to is Hawthorn at the moment have had 23 more uncontested possessions in that quarter of football. So as soon as Hawthorn are getting it, they're then finding it very, very easy to move the ball because Essendon aren't playing it like you described, Mick.
Yeah. And on the contrary thing, Essendon have had less possessions but more contested possessions. So they're going hard at it, they win the football.
Hawks by 7, second term underway. Reeves down to Newcomb, hands it back to Reeves. Hurried kick forward, and McDonald holds out Zach Reid. This is Connor McDonald, and Zach Reid has had a horror start to the new season. He got moved off Gunston already, and then he gets out-muscled there by the smaller man. Short laterally to Newcomb, inside 50, and that's a mark. The little wizard, Nick Watson, who leaps up and takes it in front of Andy McGrath out on the lead.
I like that by Watson. So when McDonald took the mark, as you called, Corbs, Watson was the deepest forward. So deep in the goal score, almost your traditional full forward starting point. Well, he just identified where there was space and then used his attribute, total speed, burst off the mark, long, hard lead, ends up getting the footy well delivered. Well played.
Nick Watson, in his coach's old number, moves in, drop punt is out to the right and behind. So Nick Watson wore 34 last year. James Warple vacating that on his move to Geelong. And a few little jumper changes, by the way, at the Hawks, which will weave in, I'm sure, throughout the night. It's an 8-point lead for Hawthorn early in the second.
Mason Redmond on the kick in, and he brings it round the northern side. If it's off Reid, it'll be a boundary throw in.
Connor McDonald's gone from 31 to 9. Chankwath Jaff leaving that vacant after the move to Melbourne. And the one that surprised me, Dylan Moore, has gone from 13 to 8. So that's only a couple of lockers. Usually they don't change that dramatically. I understand the big heavy number down to the lower number, but 13 to 8's just down the street.
Nothing wrong with a heavy number.
Forward here. Spoken by the true number 45. Here's Ward sending it back inside 50 again. It's a bouncing ball. McGrath gets it to Newen. Quick hands over the top. Johnson's involved. McGrath again. Fiorini and now Roberts, who started in the midfield. Start that second term. Oh, it wasn't paid.
Wasn't far
enough. Didn't go the
third.
required 15 metres. Dersman's asking the question. And instead of the mark being paid, it'll be a boundary throw in again at half forward here for the Hawks.
Well, it's good to see an umpire try to judge 15 anyway. They got away with murder last year. That's good.
Mick started in form. Round one. And Reeves in front, unstoppable down to Nash. Gives it over to Ward, quick hands. And now this is Amon. A high ball, one-on-one, too big, too strong Gunston in a one-on-one against Redmond. And it's in fact the experience, isn't it? He has picked up where he left off, Jack Gunston.
I reckon that McGrath would be going, why didn't I go third up? I know I had my back to play, but I could have probably got there.
Gunston's playing as the spearhead. Would you agree with that, Mick?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But look at this.
So why isn't Ben Mackay playing on it?
Exactly.
Directly in front, he's taken the mark. Should be elementary, and it is. The All-Australian from last year, best and fairest winner, has got his second. At 34 years of age, He's showing no signs of slowing down. Hawthorn 6-5-41, Essendon 4-3-27 rather. Opening couple of minutes of the second term. It's Friday night footy on ABC Sport.
And the reason I asked that, Mick, is you brought Ben McKay in to be the key defender, to play on the spearheads, and you're paying him, I don't know, $1 million a year to be there.
Yeah.
Take the responsibility.
Exactly. And we spoke about this last year, Lingy. Because he's not a creative player, put him in the position where he can defend the best.
Yep.
And Redmond's a better offensive defender. He should be further up the ground.
Correct. And Ben McKay just be that central defender who takes whoever the key
Whoever's
forward
down there, just you're big enough, you're strong enough, and he's quick enough.
Mackay's got Lewis, and it means Zach Reed's playing on Connor McDonald. So back in the middle of the ground, Nash spun around 360 degrees. Ump gives him time, got it out to Newcomb. Hand pass to Ward, short kick to McDonald. Reed breaks it up here with the spoil. Illegally, said the umpire, took the arms. Free kick for Connor McDonald. Blackiston stands the mark. The Hawks go wide, and here's Newcomb attacking edge of the centre square. Flares it further wide to the former bomber, D'Ambrosio, inside the forward 50. And Dylan Moore got it against the boundary line, left half forward.
Well, the Bombers just slowed a man up then, looking at each other, trying to find the corridor. Players darting out all over the place. Moore was the one that found the space.
Moore runs out to his right, hooks it across the body. It's on target. Is it touched?
Review.
There's a conference, and we're going to the arc.
Well, I'll let you guess that one, Mick.
Oh, I reckon it's a goal.
Yeah, I thought it was.
There's a mass of bodies on the line. The umpire says touched as the soft call.
Oh, well. That's behind the line. It's a goal.
Ooh, I don't know.
Well, if he's touched that there, Lee, you're right. It's a point.
Yep. Zach Reed with the go gadget arms. It's Dustin Fletcher-esque in his number 31.
Yeah, that's a point. That's a good call by the umpire.
It's a great call. All those bodies in front of him.
Oh, yeah. And they're all landing right on him too.
Are behind. So that makes it a 15-point lead for the Hawks. 6-6 to 4-3. 5.5 gone. Friday night footy on ABC Sport.
New skipper's got it. McGrath stabs the ball, just goes the required 15 to Caldwell.
I can only see Essendon scoring when they take Hawthorn up and get the ball in the back, Lingy. That's a problem.
Okay, the fullback took a bounce and then gave it over to Fiorini, who goes to half forward. Oh, what about the reach up over the top by Dersma? He started his season in style. Gave it off to Pryor, who goes to a 2-on-2, top of the goal scored. Caddy ran past, didn't pick up the Sharon. He hit it at pace. If he was able to control it, it didn't bounce up and instead over the boundary line. Weddle more than happy to see it over. Boundary throw in 10 metres around from the Bombers' goal. Kicking to the punt road end in this second term. Hawks by 15 points. Spinning Sharon, twirling back into play. Right, misses it. Reeves has got it, gives it to Scrimshaw. Throws it on the boot. It's a high up and under. Pryor bounced off his chest. McGrath's got it. He just hurriedly kicks it inside 50. Nash tries to control it, takes on a few. Beautiful little handball to Moore. Side step and then goes down the line. And sliding in to take the mark was Blackiston.
This is where big 2-metre Peter's got him get involved.
Blackiston, long kick inside 50. Opposing ruckman Reeves down there, but it spills the Bombers' way. Caddy on the end of it. Got a hand pass from Pryor, but misses everything. Out of bounds on the full. You know, Lingy, by the way, I'm Jackson Pryor fan club ticket holder.
Oh, number one ticket holder.
Change of role, by the way. He's on the wing this year, so maybe they might bring out the best in him rather than trying to be a fullback. As Impey with the short kick out of defence. That's intercepted. Zach Merritt comes up with it. On the run. Merritt goes. Zach Merritt. I'm talking about the man on the Bombers. He pops it through, and Hawthorn's lead trimmed to 9. 7.5 gone in the second term. Hawthorn 6-6, Essendon 5-3. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. There's a moment.
All right, we can clarify it. That's a cheer. They were very, very happy, the Bombers supporters. Loved the fact that their former skipper nailed the goal and the teammates got there. And you know what? Sometimes, even if you don't totally feel it, just bluff it. You got to teammates just go and show the love. He deserved it. It was a fantastic goal on the run. You see the relief on the replay on his face there, Mick, that one went through.
Yeah.
He would have been dreading coming to this game and getting it out of the way.
I think so.
That would have felt good for him.
Yeah, I didn't think he was good for that distance, but that's right on 50. Very good. Well, the intercept for a start off, just to pay attention to what was happening.
Mackenzie reads it best off the ruck's hands, and his kick's gone to centre half forward. That's an easy mark for Chol. Turns and spins, and Lewis coming out hard. Just nestles the Sharon to his chest, and he'll go back and have a set shot directly in front, 40 metres out.
That was Ben Mackay on Chol, who didn't fly with him. Stood off him. You can't...
Oh, Mick. We get frustrated. There's a reason. I don't know how you survived the coach's box that long. When the defender does not go with his opponent.
So Mitch Lewis on the approach to extend it back out to a 15-point ball game. Just the 8 goals from his 8 games last year. And offline for Lewis. Hasn't got his kicking boots on to start this one. Hangs it out to the right. Margin is 10. It's Friday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Redmond brings it in, short to Fiorini. He's trying to draw the man on the mark in Shoal. The umpire not falling for that, and then Fiorini just pushes it, turns it over straight to Weddle, takes the intercept mark for Hawthorn. Hand pass away to Newcomb. Handball on the half-forward line to Mackenzie. Arches his back, evades 2, shoots goal with misses. Behind, 11-point lead for the Hawks. 10 minutes gone, second term. Tim Hodges on the boundary. Hodgie, how was that reception for Zach?
It was awesome, and I think, as you guys said, I don't think anyone would be more relieved and pleased that there was a cheer than Zach himself. So, yeah, I know. I'll head back to you and I'll keep going afterwards.
Redmond goes straight down the centre. Hardwick, the 200-gamer there, is to spoil it, and then a tangle of arms and legs. Free's been picked out of there. It's going to the player on the bottom of the pack. It's Fiorini. And 50.
For the moving off the mark.
Yep, Nash has been picked. He needed to move forward and stand. He didn't. He stepped back. It's part of the new rule this year. And it's going to bring Fiorini within maybe scoring distance here.
Well, the way he's been kicking tonight, it's no chance.
Well, Ling, he's interesting. He was looking for someone to run past him. And all the Essendon players basically stood away from him.
He's just going to pop it up. He's seen something he likes.
Easy.
And it's Sharp. All by himself, 25 metres out. He's taken the mark right in front of Barris.
Well, he spotted that. That was an intelligent kick. He probably knew he wasn't going to make the distance. All the Hawthorn players were back probably from goal line to 15 metres out. He just propped it 25 metres out. There's 2 Essendon players standing near each other. Very well done.
Oozes leadership, this 18-year-old Dyson Sharp. Dream start to his AFL career. He kicked 1, and now he's got 2, and he celebrates hard. As soon as it made contact with his right boot, he knew that was going to sail over the goal umpire's head. So Sharp with 2, and it's back to within 5 points. The Bombers have not been in front so far this evening. 6-3-39. They trail the Hawks 6-8-44. And we've gone 12 minutes in the second quarter.
Nick, I keep feeling like Hawthorn are just going to go away with it, with the ease of which they're moving the ball. But to Essendon's credit, you highlighted this at quarter time, their work around the contest is really good. They're having a real crack. But then there's also little lapses in the way Hawthorn defend, and they're allowing Essendon easier goals.
Yeah, I reckon 3 or 4 of those goals have come from defensive lapsing here. That one there was a classic. Good kick, good positioning by the young player.
Restart back in the middle, just a 5-point lead now for the Hawks. Friday Night Footy on ABC Sport. Connor McDonald at the coalface, gives it to Newcomb, kicks to half forward. Mackay collects, fends off Mackenzie, hands it to Reid, hand pass back in, Condo Gianna, back in dispute. Now they've coughed it up the Bombers, comes to Nash, hand pass to Fiorini, he's tackled, and a ball up. Just over possessing at Essendon at half-back. Umpire says, I'll have it. Ball up between wing and half-forward for the Hawks. Comes out Essendon's way. Merritt's handball, a turnover. Big tackle, Sharp on Mackenzie. Forces the ball out. Hawthorn win it. Nash to McDonald. Hand pass away to Amon. Kicks inside the forward 50. Leaping up Pryor. Takes the intercept mark. Back pocket for Essendon.
Well, they're defending better compared to the first quarter. I know the scoreline mightn't show it, but they are defending better, Essendon.
2-1 in this second term, the Bombers' way. That one goes right up against the boundary line. The umpire says it's a push. And a free kick to Essendon.
This is where they're breaking down here. They just can't get the ball through, running through the centre. They can kick the ball and they're looking for teammates with the short pass.
Perkins was the one that was awarded the free. Gave it back to Redmond, used McGrath, and now he's got it again. Mason Redmond with a bounce, crosses the midfield, sends it up right on the boundary. Here's a chance. At the back, waiting for it is Langford. Gives it to Merritt, kept it inboard to Langford. Centering kick, no one's home. Relieving defensive mark has been taken by Butler.
What can the Hawks make of this? Short kick to Hardwick. Game number 200 tonight. That's a kick. Finds Moore, who marks outer edge of the centre square. Continues the shift out wide, looking for Lewis. Collects on the half volley between wing and half forward. Kicks down to Cuxton, who takes the mark, dropping in front of Pryor. Right on the junction of the boundary in the 50, and he has been a problem tonight. Coming off 4 last week. Coming off a hell of a year last year, as we mentioned, best and fairest All-Australian honours. And as I'm giving him a rap, that's how we know footy's back. He butchers it, kicks it out of bounds on the bounce. So boundary throw in forward pocket for Hawthorn.
Should have just had a shot. Probably would have kicked it better. But he is a problem, you're right. And that was on the lead. That was just clever movement. That's a veteran forward.
Toss back in, Meek in front. Joel on the left. Needs a kind bounce, doesn't get one. Snapped in that left forward pocket and missed to the left. Hawks by 6. 2 to Gunston, 2 to Connor McDonald for the Bombers, 2 to Durham and 2 to the debutant in Sharp.
Redmond to Caldwell, who kicks an absolute wounded duck as it floats its way down the wing. Picked up by Weddle, and he goes back with the sweeping hand pass to Hardwick. Laterally to Barris. Marks, plays on, shakes the would-be tackle from Dersma. Now kicks to half forward, finds Weddle. So they just changed direction so well, the Hawks, from on the boundary line to back in the corridor and out again. Hand pass away to Sicily, 55 metres out, kicks to full forward. Joel! Navion Joel! Leaps over the pack and rips it down at full forward. Yeah, Marbior.
Just had a beautiful run at that. Had the sit, but still had to complete the mark. Good, strong pack mark. He made it his.
That'll be a good one for the Snappers.
Bang. That's a good grab.
Some big bodies in that pack too, and Mabs Charles sits on top of all of them. Always a little sweeter right in front of the cheer squad. They'll love that. Now to finish off the work, dabs it through. Hawthorn back out by 2 goals. 16 gone in the second term. The Hawks 7-9-51. Essendon 6-3-39. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Cameron Ling, Mick Malthouse.
Mick, a few of my old teammates, if they were forwards, they would say great grab, amazing. I could still hear a few of my old defenders, though, saying any chance one of you blokes could get a body on him and not let him run at the ball like that.
I know. And it's the same old thing with... Is it a dying art, though, this one-on-one where you can actually scrag a little bit and without getting...
Just check their run a little bit.
Just enough not to be able to give away a free kick.
Tim Hodges on the boundary, Hodgie.
Corbin, just keeping an eye on Zach Merritt from the Bombers. Copped a kick on his right ankle. He tried to run it off and then came to the bench. He's waved off the doctors, but he's very sore. So it's a right ankle for Zach Merritt.
Yeah, just too big and too strong in the air.
Right and Meek go at it in the ruck. Watson dabs it to himself and then goes to ground. It's been picked up by Durham, off to Fiorini, keeps it low. Piercing, stabbing pass, and out on the end of a long lead was Caddy. He's 70 out. He sends it into the pocket. He likes what he sees down there, but it was May unable to take the mark. Slips through his fingers. Pressure was coming. It'll be a boundary throw-in.
Caddy, I think, has had an interrupted pre-season. I would really like to see him play about 40 metres out. I think he could do more damage there. He gets a bit crowded out there. He, Battle will grab him and just maul him with the positions he's playing.
Twirling ball back into play. Deep into attack here for the Bombers. D'Ambrosio jumps on the Bombers play. The Sharon spills clear, but the umpire says it'll be a baller.
Yeah, Battle's just going to take him. And one-on-one is very good. But
Meek Has a couple of cracks at it. May tackles him. Ball spools clear. Going in hard on the bottom of that pack was Moore, and he can't break clear. So another ball up, 40 metres out from the Bombers' goal.
Essendon can't just dump it to the goal square here because Sicily's back free.
Mick grabs it out of the ruck. Handball away towards Amon off the back flank. Long kick down that southern wing. Gunston the target. Redmond goes crashing through. Ball squirts off fingertips and out of play. So we'll have a throw in on the southern wing.
Yeah, Redmond was the spare player down this end. So he's had an impact by spoiling it. But they haven't resurrected the ball.
We've got to throw it in quicker than that. I thought we were going to... Those rule changes. Don't wait for the ruckman to get there.
Hawks by 2 goals, ticking towards half-time from the boundary throw, and we got a ball up.
The umpires around the ground are doing it better. They're throwing it up straight away.
Yep.
Boundary umpires, just chuck it in. Bad luck.
Up it goes. Meek palms it down. Durham squeezes a kick forward for Essendon. Rolling, bouncing, sliding out of play. So last disposal out of bounds. Free kick Hawthorn. There was 38 of these, by the way, in the community series when all 18 teams played. So it averages out to about 4 per game, which is about what we've seen so far, one a quarter.
Yeah, and it keeps the ball in play.
Sicily goes up towards Chol, but it's Mackay this time who takes a strong mark.
See what happens when you fly with your opponent?
Big, strong hands right in front of his eyes. It was a risky kick. He went backwards to Newen. Newen stood his ground well, but his kick goes out wide. Almost, yes, will it be a free kick to Lewis? It will be. They've got to give it back. It'll be 50.
Well, one umpire didn't pay that at all, Cal. This was the umpire down. He was a lot further out.
Lewis doesn't waste any time, and that's a great defensive effort down there by Mackay on Ginnivan. Ginnivan thought he had the mark. Mackay with the long reaching arm slapped it around and out of bounds. So boundary throw in right on that junction.
Well, that's the best we've seen Mackay in a couple of instances. 1, big mark, and 2, that spoil. Very good.
0437 774 774. The SMS number from the boundary throw-in. Right, palms it down. Hunt on for the footy, picked up by Ginnivan. He's drilled in the tackle on a ball up half forward for the Hawks. Leone from the Yarra Valley. Dylan Moore gave his number 13 to Kel Shadir, as it was his old man's number. So
of course.
It's a nice moment from Dylan Moore. That's why he's now number 8 off a series of hands out of plays. Roberts is ridden out of bounds by McKenzie.
Thank you for that, Leone. That makes a lot of sense. Nice gesture.
0437 774 774.
Deer overlooked for the game tonight.
Yeah. Wow. He's fit, not playing. Really only Will Day, their best side, unavailable due to injury from the boundary throwing. Comes the way of Roberts. Hand pass away to Caldwell to Durham to Kondo Giannis. He gives it by hand to Sharp. Handball misses intended target. Invites Lewis in. Tackle dispossessed. Centre half forward. Got it to Ginnivan. Out to Ward. Hand pass looking for D'Ambrosio. Fumbles. Regathers. Still gives it to Amon. Shoots but misses. Behind, a few no calls in there that Essendon fans wanted a free, not to be. 21 played second term. Hawthorn by 13 on the back of the D'Ambrosio miss.
Redmond doesn't want to waste any time bringing it back into play. He goes round the southern side, send it to a big pack and mark over the top. It was from May. Archie May, the youngster.
Very good. Good kick, good mark. Really good mark.
Do his confidence a world of good. He's got it the defensive side of the outer wing and he kicks it to the attacking side. Blackiston Rose couldn't take the mark. Here's a chance for Caddy. Came through. The kick was from Al Ashka. Couldn't take the mark. And now Hawthorn repelled. And through the centre they go. This is dangerous. Ward gives it off to Moore by hand. To Ginnivan by hand. He's got it at 50. He fakes and then he goes on the outside of the boot and he gets it to Watson. The Wizard. End-to-end stuff from the Hawks. It was exquisite footy, and can the Wizard finish it off in the left forward pocket?
Goes to show if you can't execute your skills at one end, little turnover, it is wide open going back the other way. Hawks took full advantage.
Hasn't kicked a goal tonight. Kicks it round the corner, off a couple of steps, turns to the crowd and flexes his muscles. How do you like that, he says. Hawks by 19. The Wizard's got his first. Hawthorn 8-10-58. Essendon 6-3 39. 6 to play before half-time.
Yeah, that's the difference, Ling. The execution one into the other. Well, there's a lot said about Ginnivan that is negative, a hell of a lot. But one of the positives, right from day one when he first played his first game, he will always look for his teammates. Remember, he looked after Jamie Elliott time and time again. Since he's come to Hawthorn, his first thought, he can kick a goal, but he's very good at finding teammates.
Team player, good footy IQ.
Yeah.
Tim Hodges on the boundary. Hodgie.
Good news for the Bombers. Zach Merritt back on the ground, back in the middle. 8 minutes he was off with that right ankle injury.
Thanks, Hodgie. Blackiston wins it down to Caldwell. Hand pass to no one in particular. McKenzie picks it up. Blackiston goes and mows him down. High kick to the wing. Spills Essendon's way. There's a whistle on the play. It's coming back. Something in the marking contest. In fact, it was D'Ambrosio hanging on to Dersma. He lays it off to Merritt and is back out there after that ankle concern. Overcooks the kick. And
bad kick.
May ends up underneath it. Scrimshaw the intercept mark for Hawthorn.
Not the place you want to turn the ball over.
Centre of the ground. No, not at all.
Short to McKenzie, and here they go, changing lanes again. Long kick out wide to Newcomb. Drills it down the line. Finds Connor McDonald. Eyes immediately inboard. 60 metres out right half forward for Hawthorn. Margin currently sits at 19. Which I'll make that the biggest lead of the night. Back to Hardwick. Short kick laterally to McKenzie, and Essendon getting numbers back to fill up the defensive 50 for the Dons. McKenzie arcs out to his right. Is there a marker down there? Chol again leaps at the footy, carries the pack, spills through to Newen. Back pocket for the Dons, gives it to Johnson under pressure. Oh, hand pass made it tough for his teammate. In the end, Dersma's got a scramble, pumps a kick out to half back. Scrimshaw intercepts, hand pass to half forward, got it away to D'Ambrosio. Missed on the run earlier. He doesn't here. And Massimo D'Ambrosio against the old mob drives it through to make it a 25-point game. 9-10-64 Hawthorn. They pull further in front. Essendon 6-3-39. 25 gone second term. Friday night footy on ABC Sport.
Essendon were always on the back foot then because of the way they set up defensively with the initial Hawthorn entry.
Yep.
So Mabior Chol almost shocked himself. He should have marked that again because he had another free run at it. I think it was Mackay who was his opponent at that stage. Just let him go. And he only dropped it because I think he was surprised.
Yeah.
But even then, the ball goes in, and Essendon were always under the pump. And the Dersma kick, you almost can't blame him from there. He had to blast it out of there somewhere. Tried to get it to grass rather than let it being marked. But in the end, the Hawks turn it over, and D'Ambrosio nails a beauty.
Cameron Ling, Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Sorry, Mick, the last three have been kicked by the Hawks after Sharp, the debutant, kicked his second. There was just 5 points in it. Secondary ball up. Merritt's got it, bursting out of the centre. Puts plenty of air in the kick, sits up for Caddy, couldn't take the mark. Good pressure from behind in a one-on-one with Sicily. Sicily takes him to ground. The umpire blew his whistle there for a moment, but he didn't. Amon's able to get it. Gives it off to D'Ambrosio. Brilliant smother was by Fiorini. Chance here for Merritt. Gives it back to Perkins. Throws it on his boot. Caddy will fly. Does he keep it in play? The umpire says touched. Over the line. It'll be a boundary throw-in. 40 metres out from Essendon's goal. Caddy yet to score a major tonight. Durham's had two. Sharp's got two. Dersma and Merritt on the board as well.
Boundary throw-in, half forward for the Dons. Right palms it down to flex off Caldwell to the advantage of Roberts. Hurriedly chucks it on his left foot. Kicks to full forward, and Barris is down there. Takes the intercept mark. It's been his jam tonight. He's got a few of those already. As Barris swings the kick all the way out to left half back for Impey. Impey long kick down the line. Shoulder target. Stands in front of McGrath. Takes the mark. Keeps it moving for Hawthorn. The 45 kick inside to Newcomb. Whole ground opens up. Hand pass to Ward. Kicks inside 50. Gunston. And that is how they draw it up down at Dingley.
Yeah, and exactly right too. Good mark by Chol. He was under a bit of pressure. Undersized in McGrath, but he just still couldn't get his fist to it.
I feel like I'm going on and on about this, Mick, but again, Mackay let Chol go, so it was Chol versus McGrath.
Yeah.
Chol takes the mark, and then Hawthorn playing quickly, and Mackay's caught in no man's land. Go with your opponent.
Exactly.
Gunston from right on the 50. Oh, the evergreen Jack Gunston. He's got 3. And we're not even at half-time. That's 7 for the year. And the man's 34 years of age. 27 and a half minutes into the second term. Hawthorn by 31. 10-10 to 6-3. New game high. Friday night footy on ABC Sport.
And adding on to that too, Corby, Hawthorn weren't worried about him going to Brisbane, and Brisbane weren't worried about him coming back. Yeah.
Well, I must admit, when he came back from Brisbane, I thought, what are they doing? He's kind of done.
Yeah.
Which seems ridiculous now.
And as Kel said, he missed the first 2 games. He couldn't get a game. Yeah. And kicked 73 goals.
And I always trusted his brain and the way he sees the game. I just didn't think his body could do it anymore.
Exactly. But that's where I was too. Yeah, totally.
Hodgie on the boundary. Lovely. Thanks, Hodgie.
Did you hear that? I don't think I was up then, Kel.
Here goes the Hawks. And it's McDonald who gets it to Chol. It's knocked away right. No, is the mark being paid to Chol? In a one-on-one. This is getting all too easy the last few minutes. Then Mackay again couldn't affect it. So they won the clearance out of the centre. McDonald turned around in that number 9, pierced it straight down the throat of Marbior Chol, and he's going to line up for his second.
It's certainly opening up now.
I've got to talk about a dinner later on that I had with a few Collingwood people, and one of them was Shane Waitland, who would play. He would be 8 metres in front of Chol and make him cut the angles.
To add more pain to the Bombers. Oh, Chol's stabbed at that and missed it by a mile. He's just got it in for a minor score. A let-off there for Essendon. But the margin is 32 points on the back of them scoring the last 3 majors with 2 minutes to play before half-time. Half-time cannot come quick enough for the Red and Black Army.
No, we've got 2 minutes 20 to go and already 71 points to the Hawks. You double that, that's a giant score. Modern footy.
Parrish marks the kick out, goes long to the wings, spills to Weddle, hand pass to Amon, floats a kick inside 50. Gee, it's very nearly marked by Butler, not to be. Ball spits out. Kondo Giannis for Essendon. Hand pass goes back to Redmond. Handball away to the skipper. McGrath comes wide with the kick. Barris arriving late, punches it away for Hawthorn, and it trickles out of bounds, 60 out from the Hawks goal. Andrew off the SMS. I'm a boundary umpire. Sometimes the Centrals take time to set it up. I've had Centrals mad at me for firing too early, talking about the quick release of the boundary throwing.
No, keep firing it early, please.
Yes, indeed.
Andrew, well done.
Don't worry about the Centrals. Just you run the show as the boundary umpire. From the boundary throwing, comes down to Ward. High kick inside the forward 50. Butler underneath it. No one marks. Spills, hits the deck, comes to Watson. Rides the contact from Durham. Quick hand pass. Parrish went straight to McDonald. Shoots goalward, not to be. Mackay saves the day. Gives it to Johnson. Exiting kick, only as far as Impey. And Hawthorn just peppering here. Entry after entry after entry.
18 already this quarter.
18-9.
Impey pokes it back inside 50 again. Chol gets a run at it and a lead, but in front, Ned Reeves floating down, takes the mark. Chol went aerial again. And in the end, his big ruckman's got it covered.
Yeah, I think because Blackiston was so worried about Chol's free run again, like it's been all quarter, that he tried to back into the contest to take care of Chol, which just then left Reeves to float across.
The longer this quarter has gone on, the further it's got away from Essendon, who were within 5 points earlier in the term. Reeves, straight through it goes. He's got 2. And Hawthorn are stretching it out. It is now a 38-point game. 32 minutes gone in the second term, 11-11 to 6-3. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Cameron Ling, Mick Malthouse, alongside Corbin Middlemas, Kelli, Underwood and Tim Hodges, your call team.
I was speaking to Big Reeves' dad late last year and said, is he going to stay? This is before the changes of clubs. And he said, yeah, he wants to stay. And I said, what about the rucking? And by that stage, we didn't know about the 23rd player coming in. He said, no, he loves it at Hawthorn. He's going to work to get as the first ruckman. Tonight, against a non-rucking club, they've worked beautifully these days. Really beautifully, because they've won almost all around the ground ones. They might win the centre bounce ones, but around the ground.
5 unanswered goals in the last 10 minutes of this term. And they're going to win it out of the centre as well. Free kick going to Reeves. It's a high ball. Where's Marbior? He launches. Gets his 2 big hands to it at ground level. It's Watson. Oh, they can do no wrong. Hawks are all over them like like a rash at the moment. Watson's got his second. And that is 6 unanswered goals. And they've blown it out to a 44-point margin. 12-11-83. Essendon 6-3-39. They have blown this game wide open.
And Kel, I reckon, do they get within 6 points at one stage?
5 when Sharp, the last goal kicker.
5 points.
5 points.
And since then, I don't know whether Essendon have had it.
Inside 50?
Well, they've gone in a couple of times,
like
but
it,
just
yeah.
20 to 9. The worst thing about the 20 to 9 is how many times that Hawthorn have actually scored. So they've scored 7 goals, 14 times they've scored in that 20. 14 times inside that 20. So that's incredible.
And it was the Bombers 2 goals to 1 in this term.
Last 15 minutes, it's 11 inside 50s to 2 and 5 goals 2 to no score. So that's just one-way traffic. Parrish with the last kick of the quarter. It's marked by Impey. And that'll do us to half-time. The longer it went, the worse it got for Essendon. 6 unanswered goals to end the term. And Hawthorn, who led by 7 points at quarter-time, now lead by 44 at the half. Hawthorn 12-11-83. Essendon 6-3-39. The goal kickers. Well, for the team that's well and truly on top, last year's preliminary finalists, Hawthorn. We got Gunston with 3, 2 each for Watson, Reeves, McDonald, and then singles for D'Ambrosio, Chol and Weddle. Chol with a neat little hanger that led to that goal earlier in that second term. And then for Essendon, 2 goals for Dyson Sharp on debut. He's got 1 in each quarter, 2 for Durham, and then singles for Zach Merritt, which came in this quarter, of course, against the team he was looking to join last October. And Xavier Dersma kicked a goal in the opening term. So Hawthorn by 44 points. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Meanwhile, if we just take a look at Zach Merritt's night, so much focus on him, of course, leading in. 17 disposals for the night, 4 inside 50s, and 4 score involvements to go along with the goal. All right, Friday night footy on ABC Sport. More updates on what's coming up on the network, as well as what's happening in other sports in just a moment. The Matildas about to kick off tonight. You can find that through ABC Listen. But first, the thoughts of our analyst, the legendary cat, Cameron Ling, and the coaching icon, Mick Malthouse on ABC Sport.
Well, Mick, I reckon at about the 10-minute mark of that quarter, we probably both felt like it was going Hawthorn's way, but we gave Essendon credit for competing around the ball, around the stoppages, around the contest, trying to win the ball, and then just finding a way to pinch a goal. Merritt gets one, Sharp gets one in that quarter. But from that point onwards, the sheer ease and dominance of Hawthorn just came to the fore, and they controlled the footy. And even when they weren't going quick and moving it like lightning, they were just knocking it around. I made the observation in the first quarter, like soccer does when they want to almost keep possession and the opposition have parked the bus back a little bit. They were just knocking the ball around with complete ease. The uncontested possessions were again through the roof in Hawthorn's favour. It was really, really simple for the last 15, 18 minutes of that second term.
It worries me about the comp that if you've got a side that can use the football, and because you can't go near someone who's got the ball from a mark or free kick, and their creativity is extreme, as the longer the game goes on and the tighter that you have to keep chasing players. So when you chase players, you're a lot tighter than you are when you're creating. You know that.
Yep.
As a tagger, you have to, like full credit for taggers.
Always easier when you're running a chance to get a kick.
Yeah, that's right. So the gap is going, and this is what happens now. The gap has just got bigger and bigger as we've seen the dominance of the side like Hawthorn, who can use the football and run the football, and we've got to say, not comfortable with the Essendon defence at the moment.
Yeah, so
without hounding
one particular
player.
One
or a couple of players.
Can I jump in, though?
Yeah, go on.
You're right. So Hawthorn have got possession of the ball. The man on the mark for the Bombers can't move. Agreed. Can't move. That's the stand rule. But nothing's stopping the other Essendon players being closer to their opponent.
Manned up, exactly.
And we're not talking the old-fashioned man on man and follow them everywhere. You still got to be smart.
Hand them over.
Yeah, hand them over. Exactly right. But when you hand them over, then take responsibility for that opponent who comes into your area and shut off that short kick that's just cutting you to ribbons at the moment.
Well, even Lingy, if the ball's taken in the middle of the ground, work the line behind level and the line level in back. So it gives the impression that you've got to negate more players to get the ball clear. At the moment, Hawthorn are looking up there, just finding a teammate that is so clear. There's no work. It's one line up. Oh, look, for just for those that are listening, maybe on their tractor, whatever, the line behind must push as hard as they can up level, allowing the line that's level to go and fill up the gaps. And
fill up the gaps about 25 metres away from the player with the ball.
Yeah, and I think there's got to be a new thing taught at, I'm not at the football club anymore, but the first thing that I would say is, soon as a mark or freak has got, and you're in front of it, this might sound strange, come up the line and the line behind you will come up, because you've got to make sure that that player's going to play on has got some discomfort and how he's going to use that football. Not carte blanche and looking up and finding, I've got one of three targets. No, you've got to squeeze the targets.
Yeah, make the kicker nervous. They go, oh, hang on, I don't want to take that kick.
That's right. And make him go back.
Yeah, at the moment it's, I could take that kick or that kick or that kick. Very, very comfortable, very easy.
That's why the best sides, unfortunately, are going to keep chopping sides up. And that's why it's so good to look at sides like that Dogs game and the Brisbane game last week. Brisbane would be disappointed the way the Dogs got their goals at the end, but it was non-stop, both sides trying to defend the side that had the football.
It was a brilliant game.
It was a brilliant game. And I'm not saying that's going to be the standard all the time, but for a first round, that was a brilliant game. I think Hawthorn have jumped out of what they've learned from last week is you've got to be more competitive. In the first quarter, they were knocked over with contested footy. In the second quarter, this quarter, they closed that gap. Not only closed it, they jumped in front. So the only salvation for Essendon is to have a contested football. They lost that comprehensively.
Yeah.
That's a great breakdown. Cameron Ling and Mick Malthouse with what we've seen. Hawthorn just pulling away. There's an old expression they talk about in boxing that class tells over time. It feels like we've seen it here tonight in the first half. The longer it's gone, the more Hawthorn have outclassed Essendon. So 44 points, the margin at half-time. There's a very special main event that's going on at half-time. So a lot of people think you may be here for Essendon and Hawthorn. Tim Hodges, who's on the boundary, not quite the same scenario. He may have a little vested interest in one of the Oz-kicking games that are going on. We'll tell you more about that in just a moment, plus what's happening in the NRL. The Sunday teams are in. The Tillies are on tonight. It's all happening here on ABC Sport at halftime. Hawthorn by 44 points. For now, let's get the latest from the ABC newsroom.
ABC News with Melanie Scott. The Israeli military says it's launched a new broad wave of strikes in Tehran. Chelsea Hetherington reports.
A series of powerful explosions shook the Iranian capital, with the French news agency describing them as unusually intense. Earlier, Israel said it was targeting regime infrastructure and had struck more than 200 targets in western and central Iran in the past day, including missile launchers and defence systems. Meanwhile, Iran continues to target ships, including oil tankers passing through the Strait of Hormuz, and the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah continues to fire missiles and launch drones towards Israel, injuring several people in the north of the country.
Australians with upcoming trips overseas are being urged to remain calm and not immediately cancel or change their flights as the war in the Middle East causes disruptions. Many people with trips planned to Europe in the next couple of months have been trying to change their flights or considering cancelling their trips altogether. Professor of Marketing and Tourism at the University of Newcastle, Mariana Segala, says trying to change the route you take could prove expensive.
People can fly from Australia via Singapore, Hong Kong, and all the other available routes. But the reality is what? Less supply and higher demand inflates prices. There are alternative routes people can fly, but of course, the limited supply, it does increase the prices.
Meanwhile, medical charity Médecins Sans Frontières says hundreds of thousands of people have been rapidly displaced in Lebanon. At least 800,000 civilians have been forced to flee their homes amid fighting between Israel and the Iranian-backed militant group Hezbollah. The head of MSF in Lebanon, Lou Cormack, says emergency shelters in the country have only 100,000 places, forcing people to sleep wherever they can.
So they're either linking with family members who live in areas that aren't being targeted, or they're moving into informal shelters like unfinished buildings or wherever space they can find it. We see that people are having to camp and just sleep on the streets if they can't find any space.
The UK says it will not loosen sanctions on Russian oil. The US has authorised countries to buy sanctioned Russian oil and petroleum that is currently loaded on vessels at sea in an attempt to curb the economic impact of the Iran war. But Energy Minister Michael Shanks has told the BBC sanctions are important, warning of the consequences of Russian President Vladimir Putin having an opportunity to invest more in the Ukraine war. Fuel industry groups say the recent surge in petrol prices isn't solely due to the war in the Middle East. The federal government will release almost 800 million litres of petrol and diesel from reserves, while the ACCC says it will monitor prices to prevent gouging. Energy Minister Chris Bowen says the move will help ease supply pressures, but Australian Institute of Petroleum Chief Executive Malcolm Roberts says prices were already at the bottom of a cycle and due to rise.
Even the NRMA and the RACQ, the motoring organisations, and in conversations I had with the ACCC today have said, we realise that just before the war we were at the trough of that retail price cycle. So we were in a period of heavy discounting and prices were quite low.
Venezuela and Colombia have cancelled a meeting of their presidents without explanation. Both countries attribute the cancellation to extraordinary or unforeseeable circumstances, but have given no further detail, only noting that they intend to reschedule soon. Colombian President Gustavo Petro has shared a phone conversation with his US counterpart Donald Trump, who wished him success in the meeting. The Australian Live Music Business Council says it's confident music festivals will survive despite a spate of event cancellations. Byron Bay's Bluesfest is the latest to close down, citing rising production, insurance and touring costs. They've brought in liquidators and told ticket holders they're unlikely to get a refund. Chair of the council, Howard Adams, says while it's upsetting news, it doesn't spell the downward fall of Australian music festivals.
I just look at my own kids. They're 20 and 18. They go to festivals all the time. They prioritise them over other things. They make sure they have the money for them because once you get into that, the experience is really just like nothing else.
ABC News.
Hi, it's Mackenzie Arnold. I'm Caitlin Ford.
It's Alana Kennedy. Hi, I'm Claire Hunt from the Matildas.
Get behind the Tillies with ABC Sport for the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026. Live and ad-free on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Zimpy with the short kick out of defence. That's intercepted. Zach Merritt comes up with it. On the run. Merritt goals. Zach Merritt. I'm talking about the man on the Bombers.
Oozes leadership, this 18-year-old Dyson Sharp. Dream start to his AFL career. He kicked one and now he's got two. And he celebrates hard.
They just changed direction so well, the Hawks, from on the boundary line to back in the corridor and out again. Hand pass away to Sicily, 55 metres out, kicks to full forward. Joel! Manuel Joel! Leaps over the pack and rips it down at full forward. Always a little sweeter right in front of the cheer squad. They'll love that. Now to finish off the work, dabs it through. Hawthorn back out by 2 goals. In the end, Dersma's got a scramble. Pumps a kick out to half-back. Scrimshaw intercepts. Hand pass to half-forward. Got it away to D'Ambrosio. Missed on the run earlier. He doesn't here. Gunston from right on the 50. Oh, the evergreen Jack Gunston. He's got 3. And we're not even at half-time.
It's a high ball. Where's Marvior? He launches. Gets his 2 big hands to it at ground level. It's Watson. Oh, they can do no wrong. Hawks are all over them like a rash at the moment. Watson's got his second. And that is 6 unanswered goals.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Sounds there from the second term. So it started with a Zach Merritt goal against his, against his old team. He's playing for his old team, of course, against the team that he wanted to join last October. It never happened. He might have been a little envious by the end of the quarter as Hawthorn rattled off the last 6 goals in the term. So 6 unanswered goals to end the quarter. And at half-time, it is Hawthorn who lead by 44 points. So 12-11-83, the Hawks. They lead Essendon 6-3-39 at half-time. The Bombers, by the way, were within 5 points at the 11-minute mark of that second term, and yet they find themselves down by 44 at half-time. All right, coming up tonight, the Matildas aren't too far away from kicking off. They play North Korea, so it'll be the Matildas up against North Korea in a quarter-final at Perth Oval. That's where the East Perth Royals used to play. It's now Perth's rectangular stadium. It's not the official stadium being Perth Stadium, of course, where the Dockers and the Eagles play their home games. That's a little bit controversial. So much smaller stadium. If they win tonight, they will make it through to a semi-final and also earn automatic qualification for the 2027 FIFA World Cup. So that's what's at stake tonight for the Matildas. You can find a call available through ABC Listen. And no promises, just depending on how things pan out tonight. But the fact that we are a rights holder and we have the audio available, we might be able to take you there for some concluding stages a little later tonight. To the NRL, round 2. Warriors 40 over the Canberra Raiders 6. Meanwhile, there's a game being played at the moment at the Sydney Football Stadium between the Roosters and the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Now, so much of the attention here was on Alex Johnston, who was in contention to break the all-time try-scoring record, so to become the man that scored more tries than anybody else in competition history. Let's have a listen on ABC Sport to see how he went.
Left-hand side run, spins off Cherry Evans, offloads back here to Sullivan, releases Mitchell on the left edge, Johnston on the outside, open space, they're chasing him, they won't catch him, Alex Johnston goes in to score, it's a moment in rugby league history. A couple of fans trickle on, his teammates envelop him, a few fans are running on here. The stands are emptying. It's pandemonium. Alex Johnston stands alone as rugby league's greatest try scorer. Well, there are a few to start, and now they're flooding on in Cardinal and Myrtle. Most fans still in their seats, but the Sydney Football Stadium is filling with fans.
Brett Sprigg on the call. Alex Johnston breaks the all-time try-scoring record. What a moment. And Cal, we're lucky enough to get some pictures here in the box. The Roosters lead the game 12-10, by the way, over the South Sydney Rabbitohs. But the Rabbitohs champion in Alex Johnston goes past Ken Irvine. Most tries ever in competition history.
I heard the wily, old, skinny coach Wayne Bennett say during the week, that's not our game. Do not go out. We don't want to see a crowd invasion. Well, it's a la Buddy, isn't it? It's very similar scenes. The stadium next door to the SCG, and they have poured out. How many teenage boys were having the bet to see who could get there first?
Yeah.
Because they have jumped up all over his back and celebrating with before half his teammates could get there. And then it was all about the selfies. We're watching here on the screen in the commentary box, and some of the fans are absolutely hilarious, aren't they? Look at these teenage boys.
Going to Roosters.
There's a bloke for the other team that's out there celebrating with the Rabbitohs after he's just
And then
scored.
I saw some of the players were down in the change rooms waiting for this to pause, and of course, absolute pandemonium. He's been lifted up on shoulders, Alex Johnston. That is a huge moment for NRL.
And similar to the way Buddy embraced it, he's absolutely lapping it up as he's pumping his fist and being raised on the shoulders of his teammates and the swarm of the crowd alongside him. So they're going through a moment there to reset, obviously, the stands and clear the playing arena. The Rabbitohs are down in the change rooms, and we're watching Latrell Mitchell just embrace him at the moment. As we lived through it, didn't we, with the Sydney Swans, and seeing the players slowly trickle their way back in. And it's for a lot of them, once they walk back into the rooms after being caught in the mass of people on the ground, it's the first time they get a chance to congratulate their
Exactly
teammate.
right. And the Prime Minister's there. Anthony Albanese, look at him. He looks like he's charging down to the rooms. He wants to see him as well. So, of course, a mad South Sydney supporter, Anthony Albanese. We talked when Barry used to do Insiders Corbin. You've got fans going up and high-fiving the PM. Security trying to keep these fans away. Look out. These are interesting scenes when Barry Cassidy would host insiders, and I was hosting offsiders. Anthony Albanese, then an MP, used to come over and say, my dream is to come on Offsiders and talk about it. NRL, can you please have me on one day? That's how mad he is when it comes to South Sydney. So Wayne Bennett's in there now trying to regroup his players. Look at Wayne. He hasn't even smiled yet.
Do you ever have much to do with Wayne? Mick is
well, only a little bit.
Right.
We're both... He met me over in Perth.
Yep.
We stayed in touch for a little while, but no, it sort of fell away, only because of circumstance.
How'd you find him?
Oh, ripping bloke.
Yeah.
Really down to earth, hard nosed. I mean, he called it the way it was. There was no... So, no, very, very good. Look, I've been fortunate to meet a lot of top-line coaches, and the one thing is that they've got a humbleness about them, but they're very strong in their convictions, and they talk to you as an equal, which is really humbling in many respects. I like it.
He's 76.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
All right. That is the state of play in the NRL, so you can find that all through ABC Listen, through the ABC Sport button, which is the big green one. If you want to click on that, ABC Listen's a place to be. There's calls available of all our sporting coverage, including the AFL, which is where we're at here at the mighty MCG, with the Hawks 44 points on top of the Bombers. And the Matildas are not too far away from starting up against North Korea. Updates to come throughout. In fact, they've just started and they're already up. More on that in a moment. Second half underway here. It's the Hawks by 44. Here's Kelli Underwood.
Setting the ball up. Meek did it in the air and then he did it at ground level. He's pumped it inside 50 and Ben McKay's taken the defensive mark directly in front of the Hawks goal, kicking to the punt road end in this third quarter. So the Bombers now loop it up. This is the debutant, Kondogiannis. He's got it across half back. Back to McGrath, the captain. He can use Durham and then gives it off to Roberts, who's worked his way from half back to half forward, flicks it wide to a 2-on-2. Wright was there, so too was Dersma. Why did he send it wide? I'm not sure, Mick Malthouse, Cameron Ling.
I'll let Mick have it.
I think we're watching and going, yes. He's got two lines up on his left foot and he goes across his left foot to the boundary and that's where it ends up. Because he did see someone in the goal square, but he could have gone a little bit wider on his preferred foot and found someone.
Hawks by 44 from the boundary throw-in. Meek, the ruckman, scoops it up, gives it to McKenzie and Sharp tackles him out of bounds. Bombers to the city end in this third term. 44-point lead. That was Brett Sprigg on the call too. Did I mention that when I back announced that? I did. On in the NRL, so Alex Johnston breaking the all-time try-scoring record. Matilda's on at the moment over in Perth. They lead 1-0 early stages against North Korea in their quarter-final. It's all happening on ABC Sport from the boundary throw-in. Whacked back into the corridor. Dersma for the Bombers. Eventually links up with Caddy. Dispossessed by Battle. Ball spills to Zach Merritt. Tumbles at goalward. It's right to the line and it's helped through. He copped an unkind bounce as it just spun back on the line and Carl Amon was there to knock it through for a minor score. So 43 points Hawthorn's lead 2 minutes into the third.
Now we'll see whether or not the Bombers have worked on something at half-time to just adjust to stop the uncontested possession of the Hawks. Has to be the change.
Drives it long around the north side of the stadium. It's a 50-50 ball at ground level. Fired out. Handball comes to Fiorini. He centres it. No one can take the mark. A couple of Bombers' bodies go to ground. Caddy hasn't really been sighted so far. Follows up with a tackle on Jarman Impey and it'll be a ball up. 40 metres out directly in front from Essendon's goal. Right into the ruck. He slaps it down. Meek on all fours, desperate to Nash. Gives it to McKenzie. A high up and under. Ginnivan's at the drop, but he's got a couple next to him. No one can take it in the air. D'Ambrosio with the handball to Ginnivan. Brings it back inboard to Impey. Good spoil from behind from the Bombers. That came from Kondogiannis, the first gamer. Now the ball still in dispute on the southern side. Umpire's blown his whistle, said it's a free kick going against Hawthorn, against Moore, and it'll be a free kick to Nguyen. So he's got it on the southern wing, kicks it to half forward. Up over the top was Dersma with the leap. Couldn't take the mark, and it's over the boundary line. Let's get down front row. Tim Hodges.
Kel, just keeping an eye on Connor Nash from the Hawks. He's got a left cork. He has had it heavily strapped during the halftime break. Lingy, I'm sure you can remember some corkies. He is doing a lot of skipping at the moment. It's very, very sore, you can tell.
You've got to keep those warm, otherwise they shut down and you aren't moving far.
Also teased at half-time, Hodgie, there was a pretty important game in the Little League. What happened there?
Who's doing the votes tonight, Malthouse or Ling?
Probably Ling.
I think Jackie Boy Hodges might have earned a vote. He kicked 5 goals, pretty hungry out there in the Auskick, but was a starring performance. So thrilled for him.
Good on you, Jack. Love to hear that. Long kick from Blackiston inside 50. Langford keeps it alive, hooks it back to Fiorini. Over his head, floats it through. His first as a Don. And Braden Fiorini, in his new colours, the former Sun, kicks the first of the second half. Essendon 7-4-46. Hawthorn 12-11-83. Hawks lead trimmed to 37, 4 minutes into the third term. The Dons to the scoring end, Lingy and Mick.
Yeah, good start by Essendon, and I mean, nice goal by Fiorini, and they got the repeat entries. What I liked the most was when Hawthorn did win possession a minute or so ago, Essendon defended it really well. Yes, they actually shut that down, didn't allow that uncontested possession, got them the ball back, and then they were able to just almost carefully, methodically build the ball up a little bit, and Fiorini just read it better and popped up at the goal square at the right time and got on the end of it. Well done, well finished.
Also, what they've got to also do is around the ground stoppages is don't let Hawthorn, they're going to dominate the ruck, but don't let them out of their that little area around the ball.
Blackiston does well, but at ground level it's picked up by Nash. Handballs back to Newcomb. Tried to get around Durham. Great tackle. Spills clear. Roberts pounces on it. Can they get back-to-back goals here? Wright has to spoil from behind. Here's a chance for Al Kashar. He can't pick it up. He's on all fours, fighting hard the first gamer. It's fired out by Newcomb, off to Impey. He speeds away and then delivers to Watson all by himself at halfback. From the defensive side, he goes to the attacking side of the southern wing, where uncontested Marbior Chol gets it. He kicks it out in front of McDonald, right on the 50, right on the edge of the boundary. He's got Gunston all by himself in the goal square, and Gunston marks and will go back and pop it through for the quick reply. Not for the first time tonight. We've seen the Hawks go end to end with their exquisite skill.
Oh, well, not only skill, Kel, one less Essendon player on the back line. How Essendon got caught out, they had no chance of stopping that.
To the punt road end, Gunston gets his fourth. And it's 37 points now. Back out to 43, rather. It was 44 at half-time. And a goal each to start this third, and the margin is 43. 13-11-89, Essendon 7-4-46. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. And Mick Malthouse, why are they able to move it so quickly? There's just no defence here from the Bombers in this passage of play.
Look, in fairness, the Bombers had 3 or 4 chances to score. It got smothered, got trapped. When it come out, unfortunately, somehow or another, one of the Essendon players got hooked into the forward line and it left Hawthorn with an extra player forward or centre. So they just picked and chose which way to go, and they found the right way.
But it highlights again, Mick, what you said pre-game. The more skillful teams are going to just blow games open, because Essendon got a holding the ball, free kick, they should score from there.
Absolutely.
If they're good enough. But you turn it over, and then the Hawks are able to just go bang, bang, bang.
Yep.
Back in the middle, Blackiston wins it down to Durham. Hand pass away to Merritt. Tackled by Impey, dispossessed. Meek picks it up. He's held up by Sharp. Ball up in the middle.
Yeah, he's got to do more with the football. Again, we saw it last night with Richmond. Time and time again, just couldn't use the ball forward to centre.
Meek wins it down. Nash got a handball away to Ward, to Connor McDonald. Slick hands out wide to Weddle. Paddles it out in front. Can't get it to sit. They all jump in as Fiorini wrestles it out of there, coughs straight up. Nash at high half forward. Hand pass away to McDonald. Looks for Gunston. Spoils. Ball slides through. Moore's got it. More snaps. More goals. More of the same. Hawthorn's lead grows. It's 49 points in favour of the Hawks. 8 minutes into the third term. And Hawthorn moved to 14-11-95. Essendon 7-4-46. Friday night footy on ABC Sport.
It's a lot of goals at this time of the year, isn't it?
They've only got themselves to blame for that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a Braden Fiorini picks up the ball.
Hand passes straight to a Hawthorn player.
And that's a player who's desperately wanting to show to his coach that I'm going okay. I get a possession. at saying, I just want a possession at all costs. I don't care where it goes. Instead of thinking, well, no, I shouldn't give this right now because it's just going to open up the game for the Hawks and an easy goal.
Yeah. Even the very worst, be taught to hit the ball on the ground. If you think you're going to get trapped, put it on the ground, bounce it off someone's foot, do something where the ball doesn't move in the direction of the opposition.
Lancashire wins the free because Mick went over the line. He gives it quickly to Caldwell, who then goes to Langford. He's got it at half forward. Too far out to score, Langford. Sees something he likes in the pocket. Charging out was right. Here's a chance for Caddy. First opportunity of the night, and he snaps his first for the year. Nate Caddy throwing it on the right boot. 15 metres out. And again, the goals just flowing. Free-flowing footy in this third term. We've had 4 goals kicked in the first 9 minutes of play.
Yeah, well, the AFL said we want more scoring. People will be wrapped. They'll jump around. They'll have parties everywhere for the goal scored. It's driving Lingy and myself nuts of how you want to be. You want a team to. I'm not good on them.
Yeah,
good on
I love great attack.
Yeah,
but as long as it's up against some
a
real
good defence. Yeah, where it has to work its way through, think its way through, probably win the one-on-ones. Through there. It's. Right now, we're just watching it. It's almost watching NBL basketball.
Well, it's reminding me a lot of the match play you do at training, where it's still competitive, no question, but there's always a 4 or 5 metre buffer off somebody who's on the lead.
And you don't want to hurt anyone.
No, and you're just letting them take the mark.
Secondary ball up in the middle. Hawks win it now. Weddle to Impey to Newcomb. Rolled over in the tackle. Still got it out. Weddle with it. Plenty of run for the Hawks. Gives it to Impey. Comes charging through. Kicks to Watson, who marks at centre half forward. Who'd have thought Essendon and Hawthorn, and yet Watson's out there running around for the Hawks as he pulls his kick inside 50, and Nash takes the mark at left half forward. He'll have a look from 45 metres out.
So what happened there is a bunch of Essendon players all quickly got back into defence. So in their minds, they're defending. But they're just guarding a little bit of grass and not saying, OK, that guy who's now come into my area, I am going to make sure he does not get a mark inside forward 50.
Yeah, he can't run onto the ball.
Connor Nash to join in on the party. And Hawthorn have cracked the ton. 11 minutes into the third term, and already Hawthorn 15-11-101, Essendon 8-4-52. And this breezy start to the third term continues. 11 gone. Hawthorn by 49 points. And this is Friday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
So they've just allowed so many marks, Essendon, around the ground. So many marks even inside forward 50. So it's Hawthorn, when they are able to win the contested possession, which they weren't able to in the first quarter, credit to Essendon, but in the second quarter they were. Yeah, and then now a little bit in this term, it means that a contested possession is just multiplying. It's just one contested possession win is a +6 or 7 uncontested to Hawthorn because of how easily they're able to move it.
Yeah.
Hawks again are going to take it out of the centre, this time off the boot of Ward. It's a high ball, spoilt in the end. It came down Lewis, Ginnivan, and now McDonald offline. Hawthorn well on top here. They blew them apart late in the final 11 minutes before half-time when they kicked 5 goals in 11 minutes. And now 3 goals to 2 to start this third term. It's more of the same, and the margin is 50.
Reid comes wide to Kondo Giannis. He's on debut tonight. Max saw the stat from useless AFL stats during the week, which probably fits into that category. He's the first AFL player ever to have a dog in his name. So he's got that dog in him. Kondo Giannis. For whatever that's worth, as Essendon have worked the ball all the way up towards the outer wing, and Pryor's got the footy. Comes laterally with it to Johnson. Defensive side of the wing. Long kick to half forward. And Paris picks it off again. Sounds like he's West Coast Eagles days. A no-fly zone Eagles defence. He's sort of been picking balls off as they've come in at will. And Hawthorn now go back and across, retreats to Battle, then to Scrimshaw, now at the left half back for Butler. And the Bombers doing their very best to keep up And they're getting blown away here. 50-point lead for the Hawks. Goes back to Scrimshaw, full back.
So this is where the defence is breaking down. Are they trying to go one-on-one? Are they doing zone?
No, so these sorts of kicks aren't a panic. It's the fact that they then load it up. So from here, Hawthorn are going to go whack, whack, whack with a few short kicks and they'll move it down the ground. These are the ones they got to stop.
Scrimshaw to Moore uncontested, gets it over the top. This is McDonald uncontested. Moore and McDonald have been good tonight. Look at that piercing pass. Couldn't quite hit Watson. Lewis will go though to the centre of the ground and it's a mark at the top of the goal square. All too easy. And Weddle's got it. And Cameron Ling predicted that. Whack, whack, whack. And it'll be another goal.
And all Hawthorn were doing were trying to overload one side. So they were just knocking it back and forth a little bit to buy time for players to work over to one side, overload it, bring it to this side, numbers here, then it was easy.
And work ethic, work rate, whatever you like, just have players forward of the ball.
Weddle lining up for his second directly in front, 20 metres out. He doesn't miss from there. He's got his second and they're really running away with it now. It's their 16th goal of the night. 16-12, 108. Essendon 8-4-52. The margin is 56. And we've still got 12 minutes in the third quarter to play.
And listeners are probably thinking, well, why don't teams do that all the time? Just patiently and then load up one side and they can do as simple as that. Well, when an opposition knows how to defend the ground well, they'll identify that Hawthorn were trying to get some numbers out to this side, and then they will make sure defensively they're set up with a matching number, and they are then one-on-one wherever the ball originally is, so it's covered. They can't use those guys. And it's not as easy then. So Hawthorn try it, but they're slowed up and they can't go anywhere with the ball.
And you generally kick to a contest.
Yeah, and it's long down the line and go and try and win it at ground level.
Out of the middle, Hawthorn have got it again, this time on the southern wing. Butler with it, goes short with the kick. Nash a hand on it on the way through. Spills to Caldwell. He's upended, tackled on that southern wing, ball up.
Just on that, Corby, if I just throw this in, Essendon in the first quarter were very good in a contested position. They're getting beaten every quarter now, and yet they're being dominated in general outside play, but they're also getting smashed at the contested footing.
Parrish just ripped off it and had possession, tackled, taken to ground by Ward and didn't dispose of it correctly. That's holding the ball. 15 and a half gone third term. Hawthorn by 56. Back into it tonight. Short kick to McKenzie. Hands it back to Ward. Short kick finds Reeves. Handball to Amon inside 50. Overcooks the kick and Redmond takes the intercept mark at fullback. Here go the Bombers on the counter-attack to Perkins on the back flank.
So Perkins goes inboard to Congiovanis. He got into a little bit of strife. It's a turnover. And this is where the Hawks can punish them. And going low from 50. The excitement machine, he's got it.
Turnover.
Ginnivan from 50 was all too easy. And his first of the night is the 10th individual goal kicker now for Hawthorn. 10 individual goal kickers. The margin is 62 points. And a quick little turnover. The debutant got into a pickle in the centre square. Congiovanis. And
yeah, but Archie Perkins sold him into that.
He did, didn't he?
He did. This is what we said before the game. You introduce three players into a competition that is red hot competition. There's no give.
No.
They're going to be young kids are going to be exposed. The way Essendon got their score early was in behind Hawthorn. They can't get the ball in behind because they don't move the ball quick enough, and they're now starting to kick the ball to a contest. And every contest, Hawthorn are bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
It's an inevitability. Don't do the same. Run the ball at Hawthorn if you can get it.
Back in the middle, right, palms it down, socket away by Pryor, up over halfway. Perkins collects, set upon straight away, back to Pryor. Hand pass away to Merritt. He feints around the oncoming traffic and then puts it straight on Caddy's chest. That's neat delivery, and Nate Caddy marks a true centre-half forward. It's interesting listening to both of you, Lingy and Mick, your analysis. It sort of reminds me a little bit of that opening night game, Hawthorn and Carlton and Sydney, where it was, once they couldn't match them in the contest, they had no resistance.
All over.
Yeah, and it's not because you're not trying.
Yeah.
Because the harder you run, the more energy you use up, and you end up going from one player to the next player to the next player.
Caddy's kicked one already in the quarter. He moves in here, drop punt out to the left, bending back, hits the post. And a behind for the guy they hope is a generational key forward, 20-year-old Nate Caddy. Margin 61, Hawthorn's way.
In the blink of an eye, the Hawks have moved it up to the wing. Charles got possession. He can stab it out in front of McDonald. He's had a great night. Can he break the tackle? He can't. Well done by Redmond. Holds it up momentarily. Newen goes in hard and surely will win the free kick there. He does. He gives it off to Johnson, who goes wide to Caddy, who's got it right in front of the interchange gates.
Connor Nash probably very lucky that Newen got up so quickly.
Yeah. So with his knee off.
I thought it was his
moved his hip out, didn't he? Had to make contact.
Caddy, Perkins, brought to ground in a tackle by Amon. Merritt, dispossessed. Hardwick pounces. Ginnivan, quick hand, slapped down by Amon. Out to Caddy, hits it at pace. High ball, and Impey's there.
Real courage.
Going back with the flight, Jarman. Goes backward. Now, this is when the switch is on and they'll try and catch the Bombers napping defensively.
Yeah, but Essendon have covered that first one pretty well.
Yeah,
now
still locked him in the back 50. You're right, Ling. Yep.
Now, just don't be as...
Oh, Mackenzie Butler, and then the short kick to Lewis. Lewis goes all the way back to Hardwick. Switches on. They change angles again. Out to the left back pocket, Impey.
Now they're going to try and load up the other side of the ground. So this is on the interchange bench side.
Short to Scrimshaw, not 15. Hands it back to Impey. Surge kicks, almost a torp on the run down the wing. Two Hawks fly. Weddle controls it at ground level. Was it a high fend off? No. Got rid of Perkins. Hands it to D'Ambrosio. Now they're out Hawthorn. Over halfway. Hand pass to Ginnivan. 70 metres out. Cuts back inside. Joel, half volley pick up. Left it behind. And Mackay goes and wins it for Essendon. Hand pass to Newen, handball to Johnson, loops it back into Parrish, quick handball to McGrath, under pressure, now Fiorini, he just coughs it straight up by hand, picked up by McDonald, back inside 50, turnover, and Redmond takes the mark. Has Braden Fiorini got a rule he's not allowed to kick it or something tonight?
You find the warts on players that change clubs on a night like this. You say, why did he go? Why did he get a game? And then it becomes very obvious.
So the Bombers working it across half-back. Zach Reid got the kick away. Off to Durham. Runs around the man on the mark. Drives it long to half-forward. And that's a lovely mark by Hardwick.
I see their first instinct, Kel, is when they mark it, they look to inboard, and there it is.
To Eamon. In the centre, they've got it. Mackenzie, Watson. Weddle closes to 40 directly in front. Lines up for his third, and it's offline. Had more time.
Ooh, yeah, that was one that should have been kicked.
They are just running rings around them, aren't they? It's
it's training at the moment.
It is.
Yeah, it's the old thing called circle work.
Yep. Margin 62 points. Hawks lead.
Reid marks the kick out. Back pocket. Goes long down the wing. Tough one for Mater Monk. Spoiled away from him. Spills to Dersma. His hand pass and turnover. Ward's got it for the Hawks. Back inside 50. Mackay takes the mark.
He was lucky, Mackay. He was 5 metres off.
Yeah.
That kick goes where it should have been. He's having a shot from 45 metres out, Chol.
Ward's kick went over Chol's head. Switches on. Newen lays a handball away to Perkins, who's off and running.
Got
two bounces.
To go.
Now a hand pass inside to Newen. Back to Perkins. They work it through the maze. The three-man weave. Handball to Durham. Handball to Fiorini. Gives a handball back to Perkins. Third touch in the chain. Turnover. And Ward dropping back in the corridor takes the intercept mark for the Hawks. And now they can start the rebound. Scrimshaw marks right half back out of the defensive 50, and Butler against the southern boundary line.
Circle work.
Looking to torch them on the turnover, the Hawks.
It's around and around and around. Yep. And you cannot afford to muck it up on that last kick. That's the one that's the 1 metre putt.
Mitch Lewis from the southern side wing just bombs it towards Chol. He leapt up over the top of Newcomb, took an absolute specky and then wheels around and Weddles by himself.
Yep, by himself.
By himself, 25 metres out. Barely any angle to speak of.
Off Archie Perkins, who was the one who turned over the ball at the other end of the ground. Weddle then worked really hard to get inside his forward 50, and Perkins just didn't go with him.
He's on the 50-metre line.
Yeah, hands on the hips, bent over. Just could not go.
So Weddle Didn't have his best game last week in opening round. His position in the team was questioned in regards to where he should play. What's his best position? Trialling some time in the midfield, and he misses on that occasion. So a couple of misses from set shots for Weddle and running into an open goal. Margin 63 points. Sting well and truly gone out of this one with 5 minutes before three-quarter time.
Still a lot of footy to come. Johnson to McGrath. Away to Redmond. Back to McGrath. Now to Perkins on the wing. Gives it to Reid. Handball goes forward to Durham. Hot handball to Al Ashkar, who's tackled high. And El Ashkar will get up, take the kick, heads down to half forward. Sharp, his fellow debutant to target, not to be. Slides through to Battle, and here they go, the Hawks. Wooshka through the middle, gives it to Sicily. Handball to Lewis. Handball away to D'Ambrosio, goes back by hand to Mackenzie. Hand pass to Sicily, kicks inside 50. You know the rest. And Newcomb takes the mark, true centre half forward. And another mark inside 50. I think it's 17-4, the marks inside 50 tonight. And the new co-captains combining there, Sicily to Newcomb. He'll shoot from 50 out.
And the reason why Hawthorn had so many numbers through the middle was there was so many Bombers trying to get a touch, a possession, wide out on the boundary. They're in self-preservation mode, thinking, I've got to get my numbers up a bit so I look half decent. And then when the turnover came, there was Hawthorn players everywhere through the middle of the ground.
Yeah, you've got to defend the middle.
John Newcomb elevated to the co-captaincy in the off-season, and the new skipper kicks his first with the added responsibilities. And Hawthorn continue to grow. This is out to a 69-point margin, 25 minutes played in the third, 18-14, 122. Essendon 8-5-53. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Matildas 1, North Korea 0. That is, or nil, as they say in association football. 38 minutes into that game, so Matilda's 1-0 at the moment. Call available through ABC Listen.
Well, Hawthorn have spread the load beautifully throughout the night. They've had contributions from so many players through the middle of the ground as they try and boost the players who can go through there. Even this centre bounce, Weddle's back in there. He's kicked 2 and probably should have had 4 already. Nick Watson starting in there. Connor Nash spends a lot of time in there. So they're just making sure different players can get through the middle of the ground. Their defenders have been excellent. Their forwards excellent. Quality performance.
So 3 and a bit to play before three-quarter time. The margin is 69 points, and here the Hawks go, moving forward again. It's a spearing pass into the pocket. And McGrath over to Max, to Fiorini, the two debutants in red and black combining. And now Merritt. Redmond accepts the handball, dashes away. A long kick in the direction of Peter Wright. He smothers the handball of Impey. He might go and pick it up here, gathers it, handballs backwards, gives it off to Perkins. Kick inside 50. Sicily hits it hard. He goes past about 3 or 4 Bombers. In the end, it's picked up by Perkins. He wheels around the corner. And Lloyd Meek takes an uncontested mark at his bootlaces. Big Lloyd had to get down low.
They've done well, Ruckman. I don't know how they're going to go all year with the double, but...
Well, they've got Sydney here next Thursday night, Mick, so it'll be interesting. Lloyd Meeks have that spot, but...
I think they'll keep the 2.
Reeves has kicked 2. So...
I don't think there's any chance of them changing 2 rucks. And that's if they get... Grundy... Oh, here we go.
Scrimshaw in the back pocket, kicks into the man on the mark, spills away towards Huss, and he puts it through. El Ashkar on debut, kicks one, and his first night at the top level. And he's the beneficiary there of a nice little bit of work from Archer May, who lays the smother and the Scrimshaw kick. And Huss El Ashkar puts one through for Essendon. 27 minutes gone in the third. Hawks by 63.
Well, they're not going to win the game. They're getting blown away. But in your first game of footy, just nice to be gifted a little one like that. A great smother by May, and then fell very nicely to Al Ashkar, and we're just seeing the family very, very happy. Give them something to cheer about. I know you want to be kicking your first goal when your team's going to win and all that sort of stuff, but your first goal, no matter what, is still very, very memorable.
You'll be looking forward to having Isaac Kako back in the team maybe next week. He's close. Trained this week, was the medical clearance, but they elected just to save him for one more week. So there's a ruck infringement in the centre of the ground, back at the restart, and Blackiston will take it. And they'll take anything at the Bombers. They trail by 63 points. He kicks it wide over to Kondogiannis. Handballs to Merritt. Handball back in board to Sharp, another debutant, back to Kondogiannis. Flares it wide. Newen, Perkins, in two minds. In the end, he just opts to sky the ball up high. Right, forced to spoil it from behind. Blackiston hits it hard, knocks down Ginnivan, comes back to Merritt. Right on 50, puts it into that left forward pocket. And it's all Hawthorn. McKenzie mops up to Sicily. They're just so casual here. Got all the time in the world. He gets it to Battle, and then Battle off to D'Ambrosio, who can trot and deliver outside the defensive 50 round the north side.
Long kick to Chol. One out here with Mackay. Mackay does well to bring it to ground. Spills to right. Hand pass away to Pryor. Sweeping hand pass to his mate Roberts. Trying to wrong foot D'Ambrosio. One way then the other. Back on his preferred left foot. Down to May, who hits up and marks. 60 metres out, right half forward. Archer May.
It's a nice mark under pressure there.
60 metres out. I'm going to kick into the pocket. Sicily and Barris are down there. It's not a great option, and Sicily takes the intercept mark.
It wasn't a great option, but Perkins doesn't do enough.
Does it? Fancy, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's played 102 games now. He's got to have more of a contribution.
Short to Scrimshaw, short to Sicily. Hand pass touched on the way through Essendon. Win it back inside 50. Merritt has it. Spun around into Sicily. Tackle trying to make up for the error. Fiorini goes and gets it. Gives it back to Al Ashka, who kicks towards full forward. Barris hits up, meets it. Runs straight into Huss, who follows up with the tackle. And Al Ashka takes him down and forces the neutral ball scenario. So we've got a ball up inside Essendon's forward 50. The game's pretty much done. Hawthorn by 63, 30 minutes gone in the third.
Still got another 30 minutes to go in the last as Barris gets it out of the danger zone. There's three Hawthorn players around this. McDonald picks it up on the southern wing. He's going to kick it straight down to Lewis. Watson kept running. No one followed him. He has a bounce from 50. He closes to 48 and he went for the top of the goal square and he should have gone for home, but the siren beat him. So there we are, looking around the MCG. Still plenty of yellow and brown scarves and hats and jumpers. And not too many red and black. A lot of them starting to leave. It's three-quarter time. It's Hawthorn by 63 points. 18-14, 122. Essendon 9-5-59. The goal kickers, there's been 11 individual goal kickers. 4 to Gunston, 2 to McDonald, Weddle, Reeves, Watson. Individuals to Newcombe, Ginnivan, Nash, Moore, D'Ambrosio and Chol. And for the Bombers, 2 each for Durham and Sharp on debut. And a singles to Alashka, who kicked the last one for the Bombers, his first game. Caddy, Fiorini, Merritt and Dersma. 63 points is the margin after Hawks led by 7 at quarter time and by 44 at three-quarter time. The good news for the Hawks is there's another quarter to come.
Matildas, meanwhile, on the back of Alana Kennedy's goal in the 9th minute, they lead North Korea 1-0 in their AFC Women's Asian Cup quarter-final, so the winner makes it through to the last 4. Meanwhile, the Matildas can also get an automatic qualification for the 2027 World Cup in Brazil with victory tonight, so Final 4 will do that. Anthony from the ACT, thanks Corbin and Co for the call. Mick, knowing a bit about coaching, what long-term things would you do with Essendon to get a finals win one day? That's a big, broad question. Mick's going to answer it next. This is Friday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Saturday Night Country has been Australia's home of country music for over 30 years. Join new host Melody Moko for the best contemporary and classical country music with an Aussie edge. Saturday nights, ABC Listen and on your local ABC radio.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Nash at high half forward, hand pass away to McDonald, looks for Gunston, spoils, ball slide through, Moore's got it, more snaps, more goals, more of the same. Hawthorn's lead grows, it's 49 points in favour of the Hawks. Connor Nash to join in on the party, and Hawthorn have cracked the ton. 11 minutes into the third term.
This is McDonald uncontested. More McDonald have been good tonight. Look at that piercing pass. Couldn't quite hit Watson. Lewis will go, though, to the centre of the ground, and it's a mark at the top of the goal square. All too easy. And Weddle's got it. Weddle lining up for his second directly in front, 20 metres out. He doesn't miss from there.
John Newcomb elevated to the co-captaincy in the off-season, and the new skipper kicks his first with the added responsibilities.
Here we go.
Scrimshaw in the back pocket, kicks into the man on the mark, spills away towards Huss, and he puts it through. El Ashkar on debut, kicks one, and his first night at the top level.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Sounds there from the third quarter. So Hawthorn have extended their lead at every change. 7 minutes at quarter time, 44 at the half, and now 63 points at three-quarter time. Hawks by 63. This is the Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Anthony from the ACT had one for Mick about what do you do as the coach of the Bombers. That's what Brad Scott's got to try and work out here at three-quarter time. It's Hawthorn large. Cameron Ling, Mick Malthouse.
It's about a 4-week workshop, isn't it, to answer that question?
See, the first thing that comes to mind as a coach, and I've got to say this, and I worked on this theory right through with sides I took over, they were, near the bottom, was it's better to learn how to defend first, because you don't have to be a great scorer. You have to be mentally strong, have the right technique, body-wise, one-on-one. You want players. The first things you should do is always pick a player that can win his own football. In other words, for those who are out there, when I say win his own football, is more often than not you win the one-on-one contest with an opponent. If you are not one of those players, it doesn't matter how much speed or how you deliver, in the tight games, particularly in finals, you get found out. So that's the first priority, is get that sort of player. Two is teach team defence. And that starts in the goal square at one end to the goal square at the other, not just your 6 backline players. And I was going to say this at half time, but it was quite remarkable. I had a dinner a couple of weeks ago. Well, it wasn't. It was about a week and a half ago. One of my former players said to me, "Come on, it's about time we took you out." And it was Shane Wakeland. And he invited along a couple of players. One was Jimmy Clement, the other was Simon Prestiacoma. And we allowed the midfielder in Paul Licuria. Allowed him in.
How'd he get an invite?
Oh, he's a good defensive.
I was going to say, he ran the other way.
He did back up. And it was the most beautiful night. And when I think about some of the players they had to play on and how we actually played off in the double grand final 202-203, it was based on the back of good defensive work. And I as you build your side up around it, then you can start to look at how you're scoring. If you look at how you're scoring, you're not going to get enough looks at scoring because you're giving the ball back to the opposition too often. So I don't think that principle has changed. My first coach was Alan Jeans, and I didn't need any persuasion to be a defensive player because you got a game if you were. So, he was a very good coach at St Kilda, excellent coach at St Kilda, excellent coach at Hawthorn. So that's the principle of it. And you've got to get good play. You only win play. It's like watching the soccer. You're only going to score if you've got a good striker.
And just, Mick, to jump in, it's something that sometimes needs to be taught really well at AFL level, because often the kids who are drafted are drafted because they are really great attacking players.
Exactly.
And they shine at representative level on the fact they can get heaps of the ball. They're beautiful users of the ball. Like, this kid looks fantastic. Let's draft him.
Yeah.
So then you've got to teach some of the other stuff that they might not have done through the junior year.
Yeah, well, you come as a full forward, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you've got to learn that art.
Yep.
Yes. Zach Merritt, chief possession getter on the ground with 24. Hawks by 63. Final term underway. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. The Bombers trying to work it out of the middle. Off the wing comes Fiorini. Hand pass away to Parrish. He kicks to full forward. Right, looking for the sprawling mark. Not to be. Battle's got it. He's taken high by a falling Langford. And Battle's going to get the free kick.
He's been a bit disappointed too, Langford, tonight.
Yeah.
He just hasn't put himself in a position to get the ball as often as he should.
Short and wide to Butler, and Butler goes all the way back to Hardwick.
He's probably their best forward when you analyse, Caddy, I guess, but he's only a young fella.
Hardwick in his 200th game. He's played the last 102 on the trot without missing. Kicks to half-back. Amon, hand pass away to Impey, into the middle. And Ginnivan, amongst two Essendon players, takes the mark on his chest, gives it to Ward, and just dance pass around 8 Essendon guys that have converged on the centre circle, gives it to Sicily, kicks wide to D'Ambrosio. This game's taken care of really in the latter stages of the second term. The margin's at 63. D'Ambrosio inside 50, and Redmond leads up. Takes the intercept mark at half-back for the Dons.
Going to kick short and backwards to McGrath. Got it right at the top of that defensive goal square. Handball's back to Redmond. Takes a bounce. Wants to take the game on. In hot pursuit is Lewis. Doesn't catch him.
That's his best position, Caddy. Coming up the ground, meeting the ball.
Pulled the kick short. Hit up Caddy and his kick to Barris v Merritt. Merritt had no chance. Barris gives it off to Amon. On the left is a beautiful kick. Ginnivan's got it, wheels around inside 50, and Watson marks. And had a metre or two separation on his direct opponent there in McGrath.
And unfortunately for Essendon defenders there, that's not on them. When there's such an awful turnover like that, and it can come back that quickly, nobody's really defending that as a back.
No.
4 or 5 players.
No, their forward line really has crumbled, isn't it, Essendon?
So the Wizards kick 2. He's on a set shot here, slightish angle just inside 50. Connects and misses to the left. Just hangs that one out. And a slight miss. So margin 64. First couple of minutes, you can see in the cheer squad there's plenty of Wizard hats, yellow Wizard hats this evening, and they'd be happy Hawthorn fans. They'll enjoy this final 18 minutes or so of play.
Here's Merritt, possession number 25 against the team he hoped to get to, of course. The big storyline leading in. Short of the new skipper, McGrath. Kicks out wide to Kondo Giannis. He gives it to Fiorini. Back to Max. Kondo Giannis tackled, dispossessed, holding the ball. Battle earns the free kick.
There's a difference between the sides playing on from the mark. Hawthorn are coming up to meet the player who gets that ball and is causing him all sorts of trouble, whereas Hawthorn are able to run the ball past the man on the mark and create the play. That's the major difference tonight in the play-ons.
Sicily to Battle, short to Amon. They got no confidence going forward, Essendon.
No.
I saw this at times last year. I mean, is it? I know at times you got to have the guy behind the ball to try and stop the bleeding and everything else, but it feels like every time they kick it in there, he gets picked off with an easy intercept. It's what the Bombers can do going forward to try and address some of those woes. Here's Amon on the end of a string of handballs, kicks inside 50, Gunston leaping up, tackled by McGrath. Did he have the footy still? Hawthorn fans thought not. Umpire says no call, and Durham exits defensive 50, finds Fiorini, hands it back to Durham, who heads down the wing.
He's kicked it straight to Sicily.
Oh, yeah, but have a look at who Sicily's on.
Another turnover to Moore. Dylan Moore's had a good night. He puts it out in front of Ginnivan and he marks on the end of a long lead.
I thought the mini league had finished at half time. Or whatever they call it.
No Oz kickers.
Well, the Oz kickers. Yeah, why would you kick the football to 2 players that are standing next to each other and one's half a foot bigger and 300 games or 250 games more experience?
So Ginnivan with the shock of dyed blonde hair tonight. Went goalless in the opening half as his team piled on 12 in the first half of footy. Kicked one in the last quarter and he starts the fourth by just shaving the post. 45-degree angle, 45 metres out. Margin is now 66 points. But a quick turnaround. They play the Swans here next Thursday night. They are the prime time darlings this year. They've got 8 Thursday and Friday night games in the first half of the year.
Good grab.
See a lot of
mark.
That is a
I'm
good
sure mark. As Langford takes a contested grab on the wing. The Bombers trying to move it quickly. Hands it to Newen. Long kick inside the forward 50. Caddy looking for contact from Battle, who punches it away into the path of Barris. Turns into contact. Got a hand pass away to Hardwick. Floats a long poly farmer. Hand pass to Battle. Gee, Wright just got there in the end. Didn't really affect the kick. Heads to half back. And Moore, who didn't take the mark but copped one around the shoulder, is going to get a free kick. McGrath gives away the free.
See that kick? Just straight away, they fire the kick in. The ball almost doesn't stop with Hawthorn, but still kick mark.
Moore to Nash, flares it wide. D'Ambrosio, short kick to Ginnivan. Aggressive team, the way they move the ball. changing lanes constantly in the different areas of the ground. To Ginnivan, to Weddle, short kick inside 50. And hitting up again, taking the mark, the wily old veteran Jack Gunston, a chance to kick his fifth.
He's wily enough to know to fill his boots a little bit tonight too.
Oh, but you've got to say that bit of play there was brilliant. And the contrary to that is it was pathetic by Essendon. Didn't man up, didn't chase, didn't fill the gaps up, trail their man in and pay the penalty with a bloke kicking for his, sixth goal.
Gunston moves in, nurses it through. And a handful for Gunston tonight. The ageless one leading the way for the Hawks. He's got 9 in 2 weeks on the back of an All-Australian year last year. The Hawks 19-16, 130. They lead Essendon 9-5, 59, 8.5 gone. Final term, Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Half-time in the AFC Women's Asian Cup quarter-final. Matildas 1, North Korea 0.
And just to highlight the way Hawthorn want to play and have played all night. This quarter is how many minutes old? 6.5? 6.5 minutes old. Already 20 uncontested marks to Hawthorn, only 8 for the Bombers.
Yeah.
So they just constantly keep the ball moving, but just kick mark, kick mark, kick mark.
Yeah.
And you're watching Jack Gunston on the replay just lead up with...
Full lead up and his man just dropped off him.
Yeah. No, there was no one filling the gap. There was no pressure and there was no one really defending him.
Merritt has had more touches than anyone else out there. He was stripped for his 26th disposal. Ball still alive. Tackled by Redmond. Nash emerges with it, the bigger-bodied midfielder. Back to McKenzie. He flicks it wide. Here's Weddle, marking uncontested. He's got it at half forward. He thought about peeling off round behind him. Instead, Weddle leaves it. So Watson left it because Marbior Chol was out in second gear on the end of a long lead. And he cradles it to his midriff, easily a step or two ahead of Ben McKay.
37 possessions to 19. Big difference is 19 aren't being used and 37 are.
So Ben McKay, rather. It's Chol in the right forward pocket. He's going for the left foot snap. His right shoulder facing the goals. Marbior curls it too much. Chol just the 1 goal this evening. Gunston's got 5, 2 each to McDonald, Weddle, Reeves, Watson. And they lead by 72 points.
Reid, the exiting kick, puts it on the chest of Perkins, his draft mate. Got it at half-back. Both top 10 picks from the same draft with Nick Cox. Perkins goes all the way back again to Johnson. So margin 72 points. The Bombers don't put some pressure on the ball. There's still a chance that this could grow a fair bit yet. As the kick goes out wide, picked off by Weddle, who takes the intercept mark. We're only 8.5 minutes into this final term. Margin sits at 12 goals. Weddle into the centre square, finds Hardwick all alone. Continues the shift laterally into Reeves, middle of the ground. Bombers filling up the corridor. Hawthorn tonight have found a way through. And he kicks deep here to Weddle in a tangle with McGrath. Ball slides past them both. Watson keeps it alive in the pocket. Johnson there for the Bombers. Gives it to Reid. Sweeping hand pass across the goal face was a free kick. It's coming back. Oh, I'm missing all of that.
It was a little bit of a bump by Chol as Reid handballed it.
Gotcha.
So it's downfield.
Downfield. It's going to come Redmond's way. He'll get it in the back pocket. Luca from Langs Bay off the SMS. I wonder which of these two teams is more appealing for Zach Butters off the SMS.
Depends if you want to win a premiership or not. Might be just money related.
So Johnson's got it. He goes by foot. They're working it away defensively. Reid marks. Handballs over the top to Roberts. The short wedge kick is marked by Merritt. Gives it back to Roberts. He stands dead still. Gives it back to Reid. And now... Merritt rather, and then off to Durham. Durham just loads up, goes long, straight down the ground to the top of the goal square, where Wright was unable to take the mark. Caddy's snap was smothered, and now these elite foot skills by the Hawks. Quick kick out of there. Along the southern wing runs Moore. He gives it off to McDonald. McDonald by foot. They're just slicing and dicing their way through these elite foot skills. Gunston's got it. Handballs over the top. He kept running, did Moore. Moore couldn't quite hit up Watson, and it'll go over the boundary line. Dylan Moore's had a good night. He's kicked the goal to go with his 20 disposals. Merritt's had it 27 times, and then it's Ward 23, Sicily 22, Amon 22, McDonald 21 and 2. So the two bad boys in the headlines this week have had a very solid night this evening.
Hawthorn have had 20 scores from turnover, so 12 goals, 8. Is there a return tonight on that front? From the boundary throw in. We're going to have a secondary ball up. No, we're not. Gives him a chance to work it out, and McKenzie got it out to D'Ambrosio. His hand pass picked off. Picked up here by Blackiston. Oh, he's tackled by Ginnivan. Didn't dispose of it, holding the ball. And Giddy's going to get it left half forward for Hawthorn.
He's battled hard, young ruckman. He's done everything that was probably capable of his maturity and his experience. So he's been up against two of the best. Oh, they are. Actually, they are. I'll say it in the best category of ruckman, because they know how to tap, they know how to get the football, and know how to kick goals.
And they're both big, massive blokes.
Big fellas.
Watson just chased down tackle there on Johnson. A little slow to get up. He's winded. Hopefully there's nothing too serious when it comes to the head, as that seemed to make contact with the ground in the process. One of those chase down tackles. Seems to be okay as he's staying out there, Zach Johnson. Ginnivan's taking his time. He's on the way in now. Jack Ginnivan's drop punt misses near side. No ring on tonight. Had a little warning from the AFL for wearing a ring under his glove last week, which is an unusual move in opening round. Still got the glove. Hawthorn with a big lead, 73 points. We're 12 minutes into the last.
Could have been even more. 37 shots a goal. That's a smashing.
Redmond to Roberts, back to Redmond, back to Roberts. He's running around in circles, and now he goes to Newen. Had to take it on the bounce. He's wheeling, dancing, driving, going long, 2-on-1. The one was in front, and that was Lewis. Couldn't take it in the air. He's tackled to the turf. Umpire says all up.
Yeah, big 2-metre Peters on the bench at the moment, so there's no target down there.
Blackiston has to do it in the ruck, and he's given away a free here.
Yeah.
Meek takes it.
Just trying to reach over someone who's a lot taller than him.
Meek, risky, into the centre of the ground. It was Scrimshaw v Langford. Langford does well, goes and wins it. To Fiorini, he goes with the handball. Missed the target in Dersma. Perkins was there. He missed the target. Durham mops up. He missed the target by hand. Messy passage of play by the Bombers. It sums up their night. And now the turnover. He goes D'Ambrosio, the former Bomber, just to make it hurt. He dashes down the southern wing. He has a couple of bounces. He looks towards Chol. Couldn't take the mark. And now McGrath, the new captain, clears it to Fiorini, and we're back where we started, across half back to McGrath by hand. Over to Redmond he goes. He has a bounce, draws the defender, handballs over the top to Al-Kashar. He closes from 50 and then centres the kick. It was a good spoil by Sicily. Huss couldn't quite get it to Perkins, and Sicily with the spoil. Now Hardwick, and they're able to mop up back to Sicily. And the sharp kick doesn't quite find a target. It's taken by Mackay. Mackay on the southern wing, off to McGrath, and now Dersma by himself inside 50. He's marked 48 metres out. He's got no one to go to. He says, I'm going to go back and back myself in here.
For the sake of all your teammates, Xavier, take your 30 seconds. Because
absolutely.
They're out on their feet, and they weren't in position to defend if it had turned over.
Yeah. I don't know whether he wanted to give it.
Nah.
Oh, please.
He kicked the second goal of the night, Dersma, for the Bombers. They led 2-1. It feels like an eternity ago. This for his second. From right on 50. No real angle. And he slots it through. Their 10th goal of the evening. 10-5-65. The problem is Hawthorn's piled on 19, 18, 132. Margin is 67, and Dersma has kicked his second.
I know our focus should be on this game, Mick, but both our eyes just wandered up to the other screen in our box.
And just
2-0.
And who kicked it?
Sam Kerr.
Sam Kerr. What a beautiful shot.
So second goal in Western Australia for the tournament back in our home state. So 2-0.
Keep your eyes on the footy, boys.
Sorry, Cal. Sorry.
No, the goal's
we need
going
some
through.
help in the front row here.
We're watching the game.
71,384 is the attendance. Tim Hodges on the boundary. Hodges, is that a little light on than what we thought?
It is, Corbin. Earlier in the week, Essendon were trying to sell that this would be a crowd they could get up to 90,000. As I said at the start of the coverage, the MCC were predicting 82,000. They're very rarely wrong, the MCC expectation. So, I don't know, Corbin, you're the Bomber man. You tell us you're going to be on the board one day. Is this a sign of how far the club has slipped at a home game? They could be so wildly off their crowd estimation, and they'll lose probably a hell of a lot of money on what they thought they might have tonight.
Parrish runs it out of the middle, puts it inside 50, and Perkins takes the mark. So free kick in the centre circles, and then now resulting in a shot at goal. But they did pull that back. I think they said 78 leading into the day. They said 7,000 short of that. So
how many are left, do you reckon?
This isn't going to help future attendances, this game.
No. On the road next week, at least Sunday against Port Adelaide. The next time we'll see them. And following that for the Dons, back in Melbourne to play against the Roos, round 3. The Western Bulldogs at Docklands after that. The road ahead. Perkins to try and put a pretty face on it late, knocks it through. So 2 in a row for the Bombers. Something they haven't done since the second quarter. And at least the margin is closer to 10 goals. 61 points, Hawthorn's lead. 19-18, 132. Essendon 11-5, 71. 17 minutes gone in the final term. I mentioned it in the pre-game. They've had second least experienced, second youngest. Feels like almost if, last year they finished the season, on a 13-game losing streak. They haven't won a game since May 23.
Well,
the reality check for the Dons is this year might actually be ground zero as much as they thought last year was.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. It's always start playing some of those other sides too, Corby, and we're talking about the other sides a fair before that. There's a few very weak sides. They've got a chance to beat someone.
Yeah.
Fans will be going home asking tonight what has actually changed over the summer. That's what we'll ask our experts in the post-match. As the ball works its way to centre half forward, Reeves picks it up, give to Nash. Nash delivers over the head of Weddle by foot. Can he get there in time? Keeps it in play. Tries to get around Johnson. Does just that. Handballs to McDonald. He's in that right forward pocket. He tries to wheel it and kick the miraculous from the toughest angle. And puts it right across the face through for a minor score. Margin is 62 and there's 6 minutes to play in this one. It was Hawthorn by 7 at quarter time. By 44 at half-time. They kicked the last 5 goals in 10 minutes before the main break. By 63 at three-quarter time.
Dons work it up to the wing, but there's another stoppage that's going to unfold here. The umpire's not keen to do any work, so he just says play on. Ball eventually bobbles around, comes to Sicily, and he threw it out. Throw. Keep it moving. The Bombers take the advantage. Caldwell gives it to Merritt. He goes darting away. Long kick inside 50. Peter Wright's got his hands around it. Oh, he's getting the Bronx.
Oh, that was Bronxy, yeah.
The Essendon crowd.
Well, unfortunately, that night, the night that he's had, probably, I don't love the Bronx cheers, but a little bit worthy of it. He's just got nowhere near it. Hasn't been able to take
2 and 3.
Yeah. I reckon that'd be his second mark for the night, I'd guess. Yeah.
Yeah, first contested grab.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're right. Second mark for the night. Here's Peter Wright from outside 50. Drop punt is there. Essendon kicked 3 in a row. But it's all a little late. 20 minutes gone in the final term. Margin back to 56. Hawthorn led this game by as many, what was it, 71 or 73 earlier in the quarter. So got out to 73 points. It was at the 12-minute mark of this final term. Hawthorn by 56, 19-19. They lead Essendon 12-5. The Bombers with the last 3.
Well, he's gone into the ruck, Peter Wright. Looking at him this year compared to Ellis, I'm not sure how old he is. And I know he should not have anything bearing, but he just looks a bit slow to me. He's always had a little bit of pace. 29. So he's not old. So he's always had a little bit of pace to be able to run onto the football. He looks a bit heavier and he looks a bit slower, which hasn't helped his game.
So exactly 5 minutes left in this one. Plenty of Hawks fans hanging around from the 71,000 that were here this evening at the G. First Friday night game for season 2026 at the MCG. Essendon have got possession, kicks to half forward. Spoil down there was from Battle, and then he's collected. Merritt had it dispossessed. And Zach Merritt certainly got all the touches this evening and leads it with 30 and 1.
Yeah, but he's smart enough to know how to just get the 30.
Yeah, I don't reckon he's had a great game.
31. Off to Parrish. Parrish goes up towards May. Couldn't take it. Quick little handball. Here's a chance for the Bombers. Does it skittle through? It does. It's a goal to Caldwell on the left. Needed a kind bounce and got it. In desperate dash, couldn't quite touch it over the line. So Caldwell gets his name on the goal kicking list. And they've kicked 4 in a row, 4 late, to get it back to 50 points. And they will be able to say they won the last term. But they have been consolation goals.
Well,
19-19, 133, sorry, Lingy, to 13-5, 83 Essendon.
Yeah, don't get sucked in by these last few goals.
Oh, no.
It's been a horror night, and Jai Caldwell, unfortunately, part of a midfield that's been really badly beaten. He's had 18 disposals himself. Darcy Parish with 21, but he had
started early.
10 in the first quarter,
Yeah,
so he's only had
nothing since.
11 since. Merritt, as we said, 31 disposals, looks nice on the stat sheet, but
he gets, gives. He can have 4 in a row and nothing happens to it.
On a night like this where there is a lot of uncontested possession,
Mick down to Weddle. He's at the centre bounce and goes darting away. Takes a bounce. Kicks inside 50. Chol caught wrong-footed, and Mackay the intercept mark.
See, that was Weddle coming out of the centre. Guess who was chasing him down was Merritt. So...
Oh, Mackay comes wide to Dursma. Took 2 bounces, puts his mate under pressure. Hand pass goes forward in the end from Conde Giannis. He gives it off towards Roberts. His hand pass further afield, and his teammate Dursma locked up straight away. Ball up. Watson and Butler with a tackle.
Sorry, Cool. Was that Roberts that hand pass that?
The final one, yeah.
Why?
His best effort.
Well, the hand pass looked beautiful, but why give it to a bloke that he had grabbed by 2 Hawthorn players when he could have kicked the football?
Hawks by 50. They kicked the first goal of the game. They've led all night. Gunston's got 5. He's kicked at least 1 in every quarter. And the margin's grown really at every change up into leading by 63 at 3-quarter time. Jack Hodges dominated the Little League, kicked 5 goals. Hawthorn by 50 points in front of 71,384.
Sam Mitchell's coaching down on the bench now, and he said to Jack Gunston, get off. So I don't think Jack's going to kick another one. It'll be a free kick here going to the Bombers. And Zach Johnson's going to take it. No. Gives it to Dursma. So of the 71,000 in the house, I reckon there'll only be about 30,000 left here. They're all wearing pretty much brown and gold as Dursma goes down the line and straight to Meek. The 2 ruckmen have dominated. Meek's been good. Reeves has kicked 2 in his first game for the year after he played just 1 game last season. Hawks in possession. They go forward again off the boot of Meek. Chol comes out, hits the pack hard. Moore was there, couldn't control it. Quick kick out of the danger zone was from Newen, but he's given it straight back to Meek. Meek goes backwards to Sicily, now a co-captain. Dominated down back. Right on the edge of the centre circle. He roosts it towards Chol. Weddle flew up from the side, launched. Watson has handballed it straight to right for the Bombers, and his kick has gone to Jarman Impey. Southern side wing. There's 3 Hawthorn players there. Impey goes backwards. He kicks to Battle, who goes back to centre half back where Hardwick marks it. Uncontested this is in his 200th game for Hardwick. Short, sharp kicks. They're going sideways. They're just mucking around with it now. Sicily's got it.
Yeah,
he bounces standing on the spot, basically toying with Essendon, saying, come and get me, and they're not.
Which is what you can do, because you're the team 10 goals up. Yes. Just wasted last 2 minutes.
Where is the defence? That'll be the big question for Brad Scott and his coaching staff after this one. They have just been all over them, Hawthorn. Now Impey's got it. No one is coming towards them. He takes off. There's literally no one manning the mark. Impey goes inside 50. And Watson rides it, and Watson snaps the goal.
Why didn't Dursman?
That's extraordinary. They just stopped and stood still, these Bombers players, with a minute and a half to go, and the Wizard says, I want more. He's booted 3. And they bring up the 20th goal for the evening. 2019, 139. Essendon 13-5, 83 after the Bombers kicked the last 4 with no pressure in this contest whatsoever. 90 seconds to play, and earlier there was 71,384 in the house.
Just will give one little nod here. It was Reeves who was the long one. He intentionally tapped that down. He almost treated that marking contest like a ruck contest. Yeah. Had Watson as a small. Really well played. Xavier Dursman should have gone back and taken the intercept mark very, very easily. Would have avoided that goal, but not to be.
56 points the margin. Reeves back in the middle, wins the hit out. Comes the way of McKenzie, though, for the Hawks. Kicks inside 50, turnover. And Johnson
push in the back. It'll come back to Ward. So Hawthorn will go forward again.
So free kick for the Hawks, middle of the ground. McKenzie comes across the ground with the kick, finds Ginnivan, marks it high half forward. Look at the spread again. They're all in the corridor. They all run out wide into the space. And Nash able to take up the offer, slides in, takes the sprawling mark at right half forward.
Jack Gunston's probably just turned to Sam Mitchell and said, come on, just let me out there. There's so much space. I want to get my 6th or 7th.
The margin got out to 73. Gunston has got 5. He kicked 1 in the first, 2 in the second, and then 1 each in the third and the fourth. 5-goal haul for him. Nash, too far out, just lays it up to the hot spot. Durham, flying through the sky, takes the juggled mark at fullback. 27.5 minutes gone final term. Simon off the SMS. Over this already. Scott has no idea off the SMS. Phil says Tigers way ahead of the Bombers this year. I wonder if Scott can fix things. So it's already started. More of your thoughts on the SMS to come. And a bad opening night for the Dons. 56 the margin.
Let's not forget they lost their last 13 games by an average of 7 goals. We put that down to the fact that they used 44 players last year. They had that horror injury run. Had to have the record 15 debutants, and the Hawks are going again with seconds left on the clock. The Wizard says, I want one more. And he's marked uncontested, 45-degree angle, 30 metres out. And he can add a final pain here to the Bombers' night. On the approach, Nick Watson lining up for goal number 4 after Gunston booted 5 to make it a 62-point margin. Looks like he's run off his line there, but he snapped the goal. He celebrates, and it's been given the goal. The margin 62 points on the final siren. They produced 21 majors. 21-19, 145 to 13-5, 83. Final margin 62 points.
We love our club and we play to win. Riding the bumps with a grin and Hawthorn. Come what may, you'll find us striving. Teamwork is the thing that talks. One for all and all for one. The way we play at Hawthorn. We are the mighty fighting Hawks.
So Hawthorn opens its account for season 2026. For Essendon, it's a new year, but a same old story. It was Hawthorn by 7 at quarter time, by 44 at half time, 63 at three-quarter time. Final margin 62. Gunston with 5. Watson finished with 4. 2 each to McDonald, Weddle, Reeves. And for the Bombers, 2 each to Durham, Dursma and Sharp. A night the Bombers would rather forget. They'll move on to next round against Port Adelaide.
Team at Hawthorn, we're the mighty fighting Hawks. We love our club and we play to win. Riding the bumps with a grin at Hawthorn. Come what may, you'll find us striving. Teamwork is the thing that talks. One for all and all for one's the way we play at Hawthorn. We are the mighty fighting Hawks.
Game was over at half-time after that second quarter where Hawthorn just blew Essendon to bits. They had 14 shots to 2. in the second quarter, and after leading by 44 points at the half, there appeared to be no way back for the Bombers. They fell behind by as many as 73. In the end, the Bombers won the last quarter for whatever that's worth, but the game was well and truly gone up until that stage. The Hawks, their first win of the young season, so they're 1-1. They square themselves off. And what should have been a grudge match just turned into a clinical demolition job. Hawthorn by 62 points. Cameron Ling and Mick Malthouse.
Brilliant job by Hawthorn. Did exactly what they had to do to bounce back from last week. They eventually got on top around the contest, and then their uncontested work, their skill, their kicking ability was brilliant throughout the night. I'm just looking at a stat, Mick, stat that I know that if I was playing in a game and Mark Bomber Thompson was waiting for me in the rooms and our stats read like this, I would be fearful.
You wouldn't go.
I'd be fearful for my life to go into those rooms. 150, yes, 150 uncontested marks the Hawthorn took throughout that game.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy number.
It is. 150 uncontested.
If you took
what's what I said about
120 uncontested marks, look out.
Yeah, you work out how a side wins games of football. If you look at Hawthorn last year, you go through it and it says, they take 100.
Yep.
Then your role is to bring them back to 95, 96, and if you possibly can, give yourself a chance. 150 is ridiculous. I think, again, 40 shots on goal, going at 58% on entrances. So that's nearly six times you score every time it goes in there, say 10 times. That is quite remarkable. And that tells you a lot about how easy it is to score. Whereas Essendon went about 48%, 18 from 40. There's that discrepancy alone, 70 to 40. It probably... and in many respects, we watched Hawthorn play around with the football later in quarters, practising how to hold the ball, use up a bit of time, knowing they've got the game won. How do we, what do we do here? If a side doesn't come to us, we'll just stand still, bounce the football to ourselves, and use the ball. We'll have 6 or 7 possessions until the opposition come at us. So there's a lot of work to be done by Essendon. There's no question. The young side, it doesn't matter whether you're 35 or 18. You run down the race, the excuses end.
Yep.
That's it. You don't get an out of jail ticket because you're 18. You've got to contribute, and you've got to contribute to the sort of the game style they want you to play.
And Corbin in the pre-game read out to us, Mick, the midfielders, just name versus name.
That's right.
And it was Merritt, Parrish, Durham. I reckon with the Essendon ones.
Caldwell,
of course, thank you. Versus Newcomb, Mackenzie,
Nash.
Maybe Ward.
Not sort of star-studded household names.
No, you just go pure on name versus name. You'd think, hang on, that's advantage Essendon. But the Hawthorn midfield destroyed the Essendon midfield, and then you go around that midfield. The Hawthorn defenders set up exactly the way they wanted to, intercepted the ball, defended really well, and then used the ball so well that the Hawthorn forward line just looked dangerous at all times. Marbior Chol looked really dangerous. Mitch Lewis on the move. Jack Gunson, of course, started well and ends up with 5. Mitch Lewis was probably the quietest of them, Mick.
But he still takes a mark and he still takes a big player.
Watson kicks 4 and
8 and 3. 8 and 3.
Watson kicks 4 and takes marks inside forward 50. Josh Weddle only kicks 2. Probably should have had 4. Missed 2 easy ones.
Yep.
So he marks the ball inside forward 50. So right across the entire ground, Hawthorn just controlled the game completely.
You were very good on the screen here. Ling, could you drag up how many marks were taken inside the front 50? I'd be very interested to see how... Because it doesn't matter if you lose the ball around the ground, you've got to be able to...
Hawthorn took 20 marks inside their forward 50. Sorry, 23 marks inside their forward 50.
See, 23 marks. I mean, that is an incredible number.
Against 7 to the Bombers.
And does it tell you the score from that 23?
You keep talking.
There's 40 shots on goal. You suspect the way they play it. The score. 2-1.
Mick just got distracted.
There's a little bit
distracted.
And they've got a corner.
Matilda's 2-1 over North Korea. We'll take you there shortly. 68 minutes into the game there. So 68 minutes in, 2-1 Matildas over North Korea. That's a quarter-final in the AFC Women's Asian Cup. They're incredible numbers, 23-7 marks inside 50, and I actually think there would have been a couple of those marks in that last quarter for Essendon when the game was well and truly dust.
Yeah, true.
By that point.
Yeah. So I was just interested to see how many, because if you're taking marks 30 metres out, you expect to score. We watched Lynch last night take a lot of marks, probably at 45 to 50, and just couldn't quite get there. So
Hawthorn scored 93 points on turnover tonight.
That is... And I'm not sure it was all their pressure. I just think it was selection of what you do with the football.
The Bombers, by the way, haven't been top 6 in the turnover game defensively since 2013. So this is not just a Brad Scott issue. This has been a club-wide issue for a long time.
And does it say something about the type of player that they've picked? I'm just thinking that you get those players... You've got to select the players you want to see play in your final.
Hawks have made their way in. Tim Hodges is down there. Hodgie.
It is amazing, Corbin. I'm not sure Mick would have loved this. How many people the club stack in the rooms after? It is chock-a-block in here, and the players are just squashed into a tiny little area where the media normally stand. The good news for us, we'll have the brand new Hawthorn captain who's just skipped his first win. John Newcombe will join us after the song that's about to start. I'm right behind Sam Mitchell. So once upon a time, guys, the footy club could just about take the entire rooms to sing their song. They've been squashed right into the corner near the coach's meeting room. I'm not sure if you can see that on the monitors. But we will have John Newcombe for you, a very happy first-time winning captain very soon.
Thanks, Hodgie. We'll be back with you in just a moment. Hawks dominate the Bombers. They win by 62 points. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. We'll go to the Matildas shortly over in Perth, who are 2-1 up over North Korea. That's coming up right here on ABC Sport in a few moments' time. Just recapping, 5 goals for Gunston, 4 for Watson, including the last 2 of the game. Hawthorn led by as many as 73. They win by 62. Should we clear the votes so we can get a quick getaway to Perth before we hear from John Newcombe? As a wash-up continues here, so the Friday night fixture done. Makes Carlton and Hawthorn the winners so far in round 1. AFL Saturday on air from 12 noon tomorrow. The award-winning with Mick Malthouse. Daniel Harford is in for Luke Ball tomorrow. I'll be there. So will the Chief Executive of the AFL. So Andrew Dillon is going to be our feature guest tomorrow. You can catch that just after 12 Australian Eastern Daylight Time, and you can catch up anytime through ABC AFL Daily. So that's the place to find all of that through the podcast store.
You've done well, Swanee last week.
It's a rock solid start, isn't it?
Andrew Dillon, my goodness.
It's
very well.
Show's going well. We're rolling, all behind our coach in Mick Malthouse. Lingy, the votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year.
Well, it's going to be all Hawthorn, of course, as you could expect, and there's a couple of unlucky ones, especially the Wizard Watson ending up with 4 goals, but he filled his boots a little bit late, a couple of late ones. That means he just misses out. I'm going to give 1 vote to James Sicily, 26 disposals, had 8 score involvements, despite being down back. Just intercept marks, organised everything, a part of a defence that was beautifully set up and dominated. So well done to James Sicily. 2 votes to Jack Gunston. Kicked 5, most dangerous forward out there. Sammy Mitchell could have left him on for the last 10 or 15 minutes. He might have got a couple more and got up to the 3 votes. But the 3 votes, Mick, is going to a man who sneaks under the radar a little bit for some of us, is Josh Ward.
Yeah,
so he had 26 disposals, but he had 12 score involvements, 8 inside 50s, 5 tackles, 5 clearances as well. When you talk about a midfielder, the balance in the game between setting up scores, taking the ball forward, but also winning it at the coalface, important around the stoppages. I thought Josh Ward was the best player on the ground.
Well done. I like that. Yeah, I thought he was very, very effective. As you say, he snuck up.
Love that. And the questions all week about whether they got enough midfield support and who's going to stand up. And Josh Ward with the best field performance. 3 votes for him from Cameron Ling, 2 for Gunston, 1 for Sicily. In the NRL tonight, the Warriors beat the Raiders 40-6. The Sydney Roosters won the derby against the South Sydney Rabbitohs 26-18. But it'll be a match that will be remembered for Alex Johnston scoring twice, once to level the record, the second time to break it. And they stormed the field at the new Sydney Football Stadium in what was memorable scenes. Reminded us of Lance Franklin, of course, getting to 1,000 goals. So Alex Johnston now the all-time leading try scorer in rugby league history. Hawks by 62 points. Let's celebrate with the winners. Back to Tim Hodges.
Corbin, John Newcombe, the new Hawthorn co-captain, joins us. A first win. What does that feel like, mate?
It feels good. It's nice to have our first one for the year. Nice to show up in front of a decent MCG crowd tonight and even though it's our away game, back on the home deck and put out a good performance. So pretty happy.
Did you feel pressure? I know last week didn't go the way anyone at this club wanted it to, but just to come out and make sure you got the 4 points and then the way you played was really, really impressive.
Yeah, yes and no. Obviously our performance last week wasn't anywhere near where we wanted it or needed it to be. You address things during the week and look yourself in the mirror a little bit, and we were able to respond and work hard for things we deserve tonight and sort of got the rewards on the back of that.
It's awesome to have the new skipper with us, guys. I'll send you upstairs, Cameron Ling and Mick Malthouse.
Jai, well done on the win. Fantastic, really impressive tonight. What was identified during the week? What was the key area that had to be fixed up to player quality like you did tonight?
Just attention to detail. We're an effort-based side and didn't really see sort of that change of pace both on offence and defence when it needed to be there. And there's many things from week to week that you're looking at to improve your game, but that was the main thing.
You had 150 uncontested marks throughout the game. Could you sense that out there that you could almost knock the ball around as much as you wanted? You had total control?
It's not, I wouldn't say that's the way we want to play, but it's nice to be able to go to that when we need to, be able to control the tempo of the game when either it is going our way or it's not, to sort of get it back on our terms. 150 is a lot. I wasn't aware it was that high, so I think ideally we'd like a little bit more speed to get into our dangerous forwards, but it's nice to be able to have all those modes to go to.
So just on as Mick Malthouse said, just on I don't say it's a rule change, but the stand and you got to stand and play with the mark. You guys seem to have mastered the run behind to be able to, that timing to be able to get that. How much practice do you do on that now compared to what it used to be? The old man on the mark would drift across and shuffle up and down. So clearly now it's becomes a offensive tactic.
Yeah, we got sort of 3 or 4 quality users off half back that have speed as well. So more than happy to get the ball in their hands more often than not and allow them to sort of take the game on and create things and do whatever they think's best for the team. So when you got guys like Carl Amon, Jarman Impey, Scrim's a beautiful user of the footy as well, that are all flowing past, it's definitely hard not to give them the ball, and we back them in to make the right decision.
And just conversely to that, how are you going to, because I think the better sides will utilise that far better than, say, the sides that haven't quite got the quality. How do you counter that when a side clearly is going to have that play on it? I'm not going to put words into your mouth, but I'd like to hear from you. How do you think you guys are going to counter it, just to stop that run?
It depends. It depends on game scenario where you are on the ground. If you can avoid the 5 metre radius entirely and defend 1v2 and get a little bit of delay, that's a great result for us to allow our backs to get to work. If you can press it and force them backwards and they don't have anyone running past, then that's a great result as well. So there's ways around it. Don't always get it right, but always trying to.
Yeah. The events of the week, Jai. New responsibilities as captain. How did you find it first real week, I guess, with an issue to try and resolve?
Yeah, it's obviously a busy week for the club. A bit of extra attention, but it's been handled really well. Obviously the boys have been dealing with it for quite a while now, and a bit of a monkey off the back for them for it to be out there, own their mistake, and we support them now as a club, wrap our arms around them, educate them with everything they need, and look forward.
Jai, appreciate your time. Good luck. We'll see you next Thursday night against the Swans.
No worries. Cheers, guys.
John Newcombe, the new co-captain of the Hawks. 77 minutes into the Asian Cup quarter-final. That is the AFC Women's Asian Cup game between the Matildas and North Korea. Why are we waiting any longer? Time to get you out there too, Perth Oval. Thank you to you, Cameron Ling, for your company tonight.
Thanks, Corbs. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Mick. I'll see you 12 noon tomorrow.
I will look forward to it, Corby.
AFL Saturday, you can catch us tomorrow through ABC Listen if you're not in Victoria or Tasmania or South Australia for that matter. So Andrew Dillon, our feature guest tomorrow, just after 12 noon. Thanks to Kelli Underwood, to Tim Hodges down in the rooms, to Stuart Hollywood Baker and to the cult figure Adam Jones back in the studio. The Hawks by 62, Josh Ward with a best of field performance. There's a dozen minutes left in regulation. It is the Matildas 2, North Korea 1. Let's take you straight to Perth's Rectangular Stadium for the AFC Women's Asian Cup quarter-final.
Over the top. This is the Kerr. Controls it beautifully with the right. Skips past another. Lays it out for Wheeler. Goes looking for Sayer. Got a touch on it, but couldn't guide it towards the goal. That's the best we've seen from the Matildas in the past 15 minutes or so. Kerr was terrific. Wheeler's cross was a delight. Sayer just trying to work it past the goalkeeper. Wasn't able to find the target, but that was inventive, it was clever, and it wasn't far away.
Great opportunity there. They've done well, like you say, that little transition, and all you need is that little moment. Hopefully we can scrape a little goal here in transition.
Voice of Colette Gardner with you on ABC Sports coverage of the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026 international football on the Listen app. All the finals, you'll hear every one of them right here as we head towards who will be crowned the champion. Shot was a good one too from Un Yong. It ricochets away off of Matilda out to the right-hand side. Kyung keeps it in, tries to get it back, and then won away by the Matildas, just deciding to deal with it, Claire Wheeler, before Un Yong could put it back in towards the box. 2-1 the score. 80 minutes gone. The Matildas still in front. Goals to Kennedy in the 9th. Kerr in the 47th, and Un Yong making it 2-1 in the 66th. Here's the captain, Un Kuk Yong. Long diagonal ball out to the left. Carpenter dealt with it. Throw-in comes the way of North Korea. Chun Shim plays it towards the centre circle. Again, the interchange of passes. Gorry's gone to ground. Here's Il Sun rolling it out to the right-hand side to Kyum, who tries to find with a through ball to Il Sun, but just overhit it. Il Sun's run was just to the right spot, but it was just overhit for North Korea, which allowed Arnold to claim. Two-1 the score. 81 minutes. As the Matildas forced to scramble defensively, Arnold will come out. There's a back pass, so she can only do no more than send it into Rosette on the eastern side of the ground, high up into the top level of the grandstand.
Just seen the work rate of Caitlin Ford back then, and even now, you know, she's fullback, our attacking player, and she's down right at the back of the corner. You know, she's working hard and trying to keep us together compact defensively.
It's been an entertaining game. If you're a neutral, you would be in raptures with what you're seeing. Some of the skills have been terrific. The goals have been great. Clever play, good link up of passing, end-to-end action.
Oh.
If you're a Matilda, though, your heart's in your mouth at the moment.
Entertainment for sure.
Clever ball over the top from North Korea. Carpenter read it well on the right side of defence. Had to go back to Heatley. He just deals with it by getting rid of it. Carpenter again forced to backtrack. And then that's going to be a ball to North Korea to be taken from the side. It's a corner. Immediately moved into Hack. Cleverly flicked it over the top. Wheeler got there first. Was able to knock it away. Hack mops up. Goes back to Cook Hayoung, who shoots! Arnold again! Saves the her rights. Denies the North Korean captain from a long-range effort. The Minister for Defence. She's back. Mackenzie Arnold had no doubt that was going in. Full stretch save. The corner, though, will have to be taken again from the left-hand side. That would be the 6th top-class save we've seen from Mackenzie Arnold so far. Hack will take the corner for North Korea. 8 minutes of regulation time left. The Matildas still hanging on to a goal lead. The corner's delivered, headed away by Sayer. Just got enough of a touch on it. Kyum will track it down for North Korea. Keeps it in play. Delivers across again. Sayer underneath it. He's able to get a boot on it. Going out after it. Forward got crunched. Again, the ball from the right-hand side. Delivered. Lovely cross, but the Matildas with number. Wheeler looks to flick it away. Gorry showed her strength. Won it. Oh, the touch was short. Needed to get one to Wheeler. Hack delivers back into the penalty area. Underneath it, nodded away twice by Hunt. Ford was there, couldn't claim it. Sat out there for the Matildas to deal with it. Heatley just hacks it away. Take a breath, everyone, for a second.
Oh, my goodness. This is mental. This working hard just to keep it out.
It's been attack after attack after an attack, and now the Matildas will have a chance to take a little bit of a breath with a high boot copping Wheeler across the right eyebrow, and a card has been given, and quite rightly too, to Yu Jong. Gets the yellow card in the 84th. Claire Wheeler wasn't expecting a boot there. It's drawn blood. There is a horrible cut above the right eye. So it was the elbow, I beg your pardon. The jumped up elbow from Yu Jong. Wheeler waiting.